Welcome to this round 8 clash here at Ainslie Oval between top of the table Queanbeyan Tigers and the 5th place Ainslie Tricolours. Today is a women's pink football day. Beautiful day here at Ainslie Oval. With me in the commentary box is Brett Davis. And Brett, we should see an interesting game here this afternoon. And looking down the list, there are a lot of outs for both sides.
Absolutely. A couple of late changes for the Queanbeyan side and a couple of their stars. The captain in Ryan Quaid is out. And of course, Kane Stevens up with the NEAFL representative under 22 side. Also, another late change is the diminutive Will Griggs is out of the side. So a couple of late changes there in what is a very heavy injury list at the Queanbeyan Tigers. But should be an interesting clash today, Michael.
It should be. I think it's going to be determined a lot by what happens in the middle. As you said, there's a couple of the classy on-ballers missing for the Queanbeyan Tigers. Ainslie obviously have their fair share as well. Nick Payne, the Lawless brothers, Dale Argyles, Eric Stone. So there's a few missing from both sides. So a good game here in the Promise. And if you are in the area, don't be too shy in coming on down. As the two ruckmen go at it in the middle, looks like Queanbeyan kicking to the club end and Ainslie kicking to the scoreboard end. It's in the Ainslie forward line as we speak. It looks like it might have been Crook, gets the ball in, but Swan's there for the Queanbeyan Tigers. Should butter it up now. Trying to find the handle here is Swan. Could be a push in the back. Umpire allows play to go on. Good movement out of defence there by Queen, but it's cut off there by Ainslie. Picked up now by Hayne, and wasn't he impressive last week against Eastlake? Kick smothered. Stays in play. Again, Queanbeyan Tigers rust the ball over the line, and we'll have a throw in left forward pocket for the Ainslie Tricolours.
I think he's called it out of bounds deliberately there from the Queanbeyan defender there, Michael. So it'll be a free kick coming up to the Ainslie forward there.
Is it still umpire appreciation round this round?
No, I think that was passed last week, but I think it's
that call.
Young Jeremy Hurst for the Tricolours deep in the pocket. Almost an impossible angle here at Ainslie Oval. He improves the angle, runs around, and it looks like he's done a great job there. Got it round on the banana. First blood to the Tricolours here in what is Muir Medal Day at Ainslie Oval, which is bathed in complete sunshine, Michael.
It is a beautiful day, 23 degrees a projected high, and if you're a Queanbeyan from a long, long time, 23 degrees in May is just unheard of. It is sensational out here. Beautiful day. The ground's in perfect condition. So there's no excuses for players today. It's just going to be interesting to see how the Queanbeyan Tigers react after their first loss last week. They were belted by the Belconnen Magpies, and that's the first time since 2012 that any team from Canberra had beaten them. So their response is going to be important.
Absolutely, it's going to be made all the harder with the injury list they've got at the moment, but they're a club that never says die. As Irwin goes to do battle with Morris, it's shuffled out of the back of the ground to the inclusion in Jared Atkinson. The classy Jared Atkinson just pops it out the top of the square, and it'll be the Queanbeyan defender looking to switch. He ignores that of Steve Camp, a newcomer to the Queanbeyan Tigers this year, and it's laid back there as Sean Ellis gets a quick hand on it. He goes down for the ball, but the umpire's picked out a free kick at the back of the centre square, and it'll be the Tricolours defence to bring it out through. It's Jed Costigan out there, and he brings it across to Kane Morris. It's the classy Hayne. Hayne inboard towards Lachlan Highfield. Highfield with a big kick down towards the players meeting back on the footy, and that was Jason Fleming there who backed back into the pack courageously. But it's taken away by Paul Franchis, and he looks to go on there, and he puts his teammate under pressure, and that'll be holding the ball. The umpire doesn't hesitate. It was a poor decision there by Paul Franchi, who's changed numbers late in the piece here, Michael. Normally wears the 7, he's now in the 6, but it's that goal scoring Hurst. He gets a nice little chip away. He's had a blistering start to the game. Really impressed last week too, Michael.
Yeah, it was very impressive, was Hurst. Ainslie took a while to get going, but they had a bit too much experience in Nous and used the ball better than Eastlake in the end to come home with the 4 points. Toby Conroy, former Ainslie player, gets the pass out now. Butters up, always works hard, does Toby Conroy, and he's beautiful with the football. And again, just look at the endeavour and the running power. Kicks it up towards the Queanbeyan Tiger half-forward line. A good mark taken there by Fulford.
Yeah, Ben Fulford been in sparkling form, kicked a couple of goals, but not so good on this occasion as big Kane Morris chops it off, and he switches it across to Lachlan Highfield. He's got a decision to make on the left foot. It's put back around there to Hayne. Hayne in front of Kavanagh.
Kavanagh's on the mark. Kick long. Outer side wing here at Ainslie Oval. Pack forms. Good punch away by Horner. Who's first to get there? Ball's on the ground. Horner goes off that ground. Goes towards the ever-reliable Ash Harris. Picks it up now on the left. No, looks for a handball. Cut off beautifully by the Queanbeyan Tiger, Neil Irwin. Goes into the forward line. Oh, goes over the head of Ben Klemke. Ainslie should butter up here now. Kick comes across the ground to Barry. Barry's got some space and time. Needs to use his decision-making now. Kicks it to the grandstand wing. Looking for Crook. Crook now gathers. Good pressure there by the Queanbeyan Tigers. Matt Little. Ball's on the ground, so it's pretty heavy going early. Clash of bodies, no. King comes straight through in his never say die attitude. Gets it across to Atkinson. Atkinson, as you said, he's got a lot of class. You'd like to see him get his hands on the football a bit more. He's going to be needed to do so today. Danaher goes out wide, puts it in front of Jensen. Oh, the ball goes over his head, butters up nicely. Quick hands to Conroy. Conroy gets the handball to the half-forward line for the Queanbeyan Tigers. Good desperation there by the Ainslie defence. Get it out now to their half-back line to Crook. Crook, he's all class, picks it up nicely. Dishes off the handball. Half-forward line for Ainslie. Swan's there for the Queanbeyan Tigers. And Gawley is there for Ainslie. Played pretty well, Gawley, what we saw last week. Ball's now in the hands of Franchi. Goes short, poor disposal. Going to make a mistake, make it 50 yards down the ground. Kick around the corner by Jolliffe. Should be punched away by Ainslie. Try to take the mark. Picked up now by Jensen. Gets a handball of sorts in the middle of the Ainslie Oval here. And the umpire's going to have to come in pretty soon. But he lets play go on. Conroy has to be the 6th or 7th possession already. That's not one of his better ones. And the mark taken on the half-back line for Ainslie.
Yeah, Marcus Crook, he started off impressively. Barry in the headgear this week. That's a poor kick from him. It lands in the arms of Stevie Camp. Camp gets it over to the run there of the... it's the number 35 in Paul Slater, who had a year off the football, and now it's over to Jared Atkinson. We spoke about him earlier. He needs to have a big game today. He's the key for the Queanbeyan Tigers, I feel. It's over to Danaher. Danaher with a long kick from outside 50. He pushes it through for a behind. That's their first score for the afternoon, and it's now 6-1 in favour of the Tricolours.
Yeah, pretty good game so far. It'll be interesting to see if the Queanbeyan Tigers can keep this going for the whole 4 quarters. As we've said on numerous occasions already, they are on demand, as to are Ainslie. So the best 2 sides, best 22 for both sides aren't out there. So it should be a good contest. Half-forward line for Ainslie. Fleming trying to find the handle. Gets a handball out to Lachlan Crook. Loose there on the half-forward line for Ainslie is Gawley. And he takes a mark about 45 metres out. Slight angle. Just be a question of accuracy. Should get the distance quite comfortably. 6 minutes in here at Ainslie Oval. It's the home side 1 goal straight 6. The Queanbeyan Tigers 1 behind.
Of course, it's Goulet who's lining up for a goal. He was very impressive last start against Eastlake. He comes in with an awkward kicking style, but yet he's effective, and it's through for a behind. Ineffective there from John Goulet. It was a poor drop off the foot, but Queanbeyan, this is their bread and butter, where they've been real marked improvement, Michael, is their transition and their kick-outs is where they really take it on. But that's just bowled Slater. It's bowled also Nick Hayne there, but Slater was first to recover with a quick handball over to Camp. Camp gets another handball over to the coach in Klemke. Klemke out to Swan. Broadcast side, Swan with a quick handball over that to Camp again. Camp gets it through the middle of the ground, looking for Mitch Heelslip, but it's that man Crook who's had some real early touches and starting to find a bit of form, Michael.
Yeah, it looks like he's playing a sweeping role across that half-back line. So the Tigers may need to man up Crook across the half-back line. Ball comes to the back of the pack. Who's there first? It's Ainslie. Kick around the corner. How will it bounce? It's bouncing the wrong way. Picked up now by the ever-dangerous Ellis. Goes one way. That's a goal. That's his bread and butter. He was very impressive last week against Eastlake. Kick 3, and he's got his first on the board today, and Ainslie get their second. It's 2 goals, 1-13. Queanbeyan Tigers 1 behind.
Absolutely, you saw Marcus Crook set it up there with a raking left foot into the hands of Fleming, who did really well to find the ever reliable Sean Ellis in front of goals. As you said, that's his bread and butter, and he's very, very dangerous around the goals. He's probably the most diminutive small forward in the competition at the moment, excusing Shane Harris because he is out injured, but he's a man that does need a lot of stopping.
Certainly does. He's got a lot of nous about him around goals. I tell you what, if I was the half-forward flanker for the Queanbeyan Tigers on Marcus Crook, I'd be going straight to the forward pocket to get him out of the play. But I'm not a coach. That's why you and I are up here, I guess. The ball's back in the middle. Good tap out by Ainslie. Shark there by Hayne. Around the corner. Punched away by Klemke. There is Swan. Good handball across to King. King across to Westcombe. Back to Conroy. Jeez, he's racking up some stats. Him and Crook are the best two players on the ground. Good work there by Ainslie, though. The kick finds its mark. Good hands. Ainslie working the ball well on the outer side wing. Looking out wide for Hurst. The first goal scorer of the game. Stops, props. Waiting for some movement. Ellis moves for him. But there's two Queanbeyan Tigers there. He looks for the second lead. Good punch away there by the Queanbeyan Tiger defence in Jensen. And the ball goes out of bounds. Left forward pocket for Ainslie. We are 10 minutes into this first term. 2-1-13 to the home side. One behind to the Tigers.
Absolutely, Michael, and you can see the impact that not having Ryan Quaid at the centre half forward area there, leading up at the ground, giving them a big target. They're really missing his presence out there and breaking down across half forward, but it's into the coach of Klemke. Klemke puts it down to that of Benny Fulford. Ben Fulford was taken over the boundary line, results in a boundary line throw in far side Ainslie Oval, but Quaid a big blow for the Queanbeyan Tigers.
Yeah, we discussed him off air a bit last week. Just his leadership and the way he's grown into the captaincy role. He's now starting to take games by the scruff of the neck, and he's sorely missed. He's the target there at centre half forward, and you just need someone like he, and then obviously you've got James Kavanagh down there as the second twin tower. They will sorely miss Ryan Quaid, the son of Brian, former Queanbeyan coach, 4-time premiership coach. But it's Ainslie now, half forward line. They get the handball out to Hayne. He was super impressive last week. Tigers there trying to cut it off. They should do so now. Picked up by Kirkwood. Kicking's not one of his strong points. The umpire's found a free kick. It's going to go to the big ruckman in Curlin for an incident off the ball, and Curlin takes a free kick.
And it's Curlin wearing the 45. For those of you who've got a program, he's listed as 32. He is actually in 45. So he's another one that's vastly improved for the Queanbeyan Tigers, and they're pinning their ruck stocks on young Curlin. So that's a good kick there from over the shoulder. And it's a free kick to the Queanbeyan Tiger out there, and I think it's Mitch Heelslip. Heelslip drives the ball down towards that in the region of, I think it's Ben Klemke out there, and he's taken what is a strong mark. Ben Klemke gets an opportunity to put the ball down the throat of, and it's been chopped off there. That was clever. They're dropping back numbers in front of James Kavanagh. They realise how dangerous he is. Dale Walker's been very effective in the opening stanza. That's out to Fleming, a handball by Fleming. He sweeps it to the other side. That seems to be they're playing the far side out to Hurst. Hurst over to, is it Horner out there or Highfield? Highfield out there to, that is John Goulet, who's covered a lot of ground out there. He looks to bring the ball back inside to Sean Campbell. Campbell in the middle of the ground to the run of Lachlan Crook. Lachlan Crook in towards Bennett. And that's a strong mark by the leading goal scorer in the competition in front of Kirkwood. So that's great hands there by Josh Bennett. He showed all the class of a leading forward there as mass interchanges are taking place for both sides as Bennett lines up for his first for the afternoon. And what was a strong mark. But Kirkwood has been ultra impressive throughout the season. He did a number on Nathan Clark. Many of you would recall Nathan, a former Brisbane Lion, and of course the captain coach of Eastlake and a super talented player. But Kirkwood did a number on him out there at Dairy Farmers when they played Aspley. But it's back in the hands of Bennett, directly out 40 metres in front, and he lines up, and I think he's pushed it to the left-hand side. That he has for a minor to score.
Yeah, he's leading goalkeeper of the competition, has 27. Queanbeyan Tigers' James Kavanagh has 23, but that is a confidence-building grab. Very, very strong grab. I think he might be a bit too strong in the body for Kirkwood. Kirkwood's definitely got the pace to go with him. But a lot will come down to how the ball comes into the forward line of Ainslie as Toby Conroy picks up another possession. Wasn't one of his better ones. That's got to be in the back to the Ainslie player. Just had the saddle put on him. And Ainslie will reload from about 65 metres out. The kick into the scoreboard end. It's a funny looking kick into the forward line. Neil Irwin probably should have taken that grab. Gets down to Conroy. Across to Kirkwood. Comes back inboard. Tigers look a bit void of ideas coming out of defence here. They finally get it out over the 50-metre line to Heaslip. It's going to come straight back, though, with interest as Ainslie have taken the mark across the wing. Gets a handball across to Clint Mathis. Mathis now goes long and strong. The Ainslie player fell over the top of the pack. Who was that in Hayne? And he comes down with the football and kicks an easy goal. Great work by Hayne. He was up in the air and he was the first player to recover when the ball hit the ground. And it was an easy goal for him. That's his first. kicked 4 or 5 last week from memory, Brett, and he was one of the players that got Ainslie back into the game when Ainslie they looked like they had control. And Ainslie just gets stronger here at Ainslie Oval. Go to 3 goals to 20. Queanbeyan Tigers, as we've said, struggling to get the ball over into their forward 50. They are 1 behind, and we are 15 minutes into this first term.
That was a great attempt there by Hayne. The difference was that he kept his feet. And when he went up in the air, he landed back on his feet. He was first to recover. The Queanbeyan defenders collided into each other. He's proving a real handful, and he'll prove out to be a fantastic acquisition for the Ainslie Football Club as the season goes through. As the umpire bounces it, and he'll call it back there as the... was a bit of an awkward bounce, not favouring either ruckman, so he'll throw it back up in the middle of the ground. But super impressive in the last 3 weeks has been Nick Hayne for the Tricolours.
Yes, he's got to be up there for representative duties. High on the list, you would think. Ball's back in the middle. Good tap there by Gourlay. Pack forms. Umpire circling. What will he do? There's no effort being made by the Ainslie player, although he has got 3 Tiger players on top of him. But we do see that paid quite regularly in the AFL, and I do shake my head on most of those occasions. Comes out towards Mitch Danaher. Umpire's whistle has gone. Tigers will get the free kick. They do need something to come of this forward flurry. They really need players like Ben Klemke and Mitch Heaslip to put their hands up down the forward line. The kick goes towards Jaden Kavanagh. Kavanagh couldn't take the mark. Ainslie have all the numbers on the ground. Seem to have more players in their defensive area, and then they counter-attack very, very quickly. Poor kick by the Ainslie player. Great pick up there by Horner. Wheels around, looking for some support. Goes along with the left boot. Down towards the full forward. Great punch away by Kirkwood. But Hurst, where all good small men should be, kicks it to where all good forward should be. He dropped the mark. Ball hits the ground. Players trying desperately to get their handle on the ball. Picked up now by Danaher for the Queanbeyan Tigers. He goes across the ground to Jensen, and the Queanbeyan Tigers have dodged a bullet there, Brett.
Absolutely. Big Kane Morris dropped what he should have taken. As he hit the ground, it just spilled out, but he then is a poor kick from Sam Jensen right into the arms of Josh Bennett. It'll give Josh Bennett his second chance to kick a goal for the Tricolours, but foot skills of both sides really letting them down at the moment, as we see a real arm wrestle taking place out here at Ainslie Oval in what is Muir Medal Day and also Women Pink Ribbon Day. Is that correct, Michael?
Women's Pink Footy Day. Mother's Day tomorrow, of course. I'm assuming that's got part to do with it. Looking at some of the previous Muir medal winners in a second, as Bennett gets his first and 28th goal of a very productive 2013 so far. The inaugural winner of the Muir medal was Stafford Cooper of Ainslie, former Ainslie, Eastlake, Tuggeranong play. He's had a fair few starts. Billy Neely, another player who's had a few starts here in Canberra. He won in 2007. Danny Jarks, another player who's had a few starts for a couple of clubs. Yeah. Andrew Liskey, they both were joint winners in 2008. Geordie Longmore won in 09. Swan in 10. Johnny Holmes in 2011. And last year was won by Will Griggs of Queensland. So it's been a fairly good spread, and there's some pretty talented names amongst that list.
Absolutely, and there's been a few player swaps to the rival clubs. Of course, probably they've fought many battles that you would have been involved in, Michael, through the 90s there, as the powerhouses went to war, so to speak, didn't they? And who can forget those battles? But it's out to the footy here today in northeastern football. Round 8 clash here at Ainslie Oval, and it's put down towards Kavanagh. He drops another one, but he was pushed under the footy, so he'll get a free kick, James Kavanagh. He's 40 metres out on a very tight angle. This is a gettable one for James Kavanagh. He's a very good kick. Anywhere from 45 metres is probably his distance, isn't it, Michael?
Definitely knows this over well. Speaking of players who have played in both camps, James Kavanagh, he was playing full forward for Ainslie back in my day. The kick's on its way. It's missed to the right-hand side. And the Queanbeyan Tigers really need a goal just to get themselves going. Scoreboard not looking real healthy at the moment for them. It's 4 goals to 26. Queanbeyan Tigers 2 behinds as Ainslie get the ball out of defence quite easily in the end. Mark taken there by Horner. He's looking dangerous. Here's Horner. Goes towards Bennett, and why wouldn't you? It's a good-looking kick. He should take that mark. Just a beautiful kick, good lead. The space was there. Kirkwood had no chance. He's pleading his case, not quite sure what his problem was. It was just good football, Brett, and you really can't stop that sort of ball coming in the forward line.
Absolutely. What, of course, we spoke about Ryan Quaid being out, and of course you've got at the opposite end Simon Horner doing the job at centre half forward for the Tricolours. He's been in sparkling form since he got married a couple of weeks ago. It was a welcome return to the Tricolours, and of course that man Bennett, we've spoken his praises too many times. I'd probably look at the change of, I would put probably Kirkwood, who can play a little bit taller, onto the more mobile Horner, and look at Swan, who's a little bit better in the air, on Bennett. But Bennett, he lines back and he kicks what is his first for the afternoon, second actually for Josh Bennett. That's a fantastic get for them, and he's showing a very, very nice set of hands. He's meeting the ball high in the air, Michael, and that's the difference, and that's been the real improvement in his game.
Which is a perfect setup there by Horner. The kick was out in front, and really he had to do his best to drop it rather than take it, so not much that Kirkwood could do. He will bounce back. Looks like you're right. No, the change hasn't been made. Swan was walking back towards the goal square, but unfortunately he's going to have to take the tall Kane Morris. So that might be the reason there, Brett, that they don't have enough talls forward or back at the moment.
I still think you've got to roll the dice in that situation. I think Kirkwood's probably good enough to play on Morris when he's resting down there, and I would, because I think Bennett's the go-to person rather than Morris. But back to the middle of the ground, it's over to the big-bodied Ash Harris. He gets a quick kick away, only as far as Danaher, and that was a free kick there, unlucky not to get it. But the Ainslie back six are working in tandem out there. They're doing really, really well. As it's Slater in the pink boots, he gets a quick kick away, and it's only as far as the behind post. Actually, I don't think it even got that far. It was chopped off there by the Ainslie defender, and he swings quickly around to the run of Marcus Crook onto his trusty left foot as he gets it away. He's accumulated possessions in this first quarter. He gets it down towards Ash Harris, and it goes over there to a sea of Queanbeyan Tigers, and it's taken away by the big ruckman in curling through the middle of the ground. It's only as far as Matt Little. Matt Little now holds the play up as he goes across the ground to the lead of the fat side of James Kavanagh. It's punched away, but the umpire's picked out a free kick against Rob Toohey for chopping the arm, so Kavanagh gets another opportunity in front of goal, possibly to register the Tigers first for the afternoon.
Yeah, he needs to go back and slot this one. Queanbeyan Tigers need to stem the flow, otherwise the hemorrhaging will continue. It's 5 unanswered goals for the Tricolours, and the ball is in the hands of a very reliable kick, James Kavanagh. The kick looks good from here, straight over the umpire's hat. Queanbeyan Tigers get the much needed goal. That's Kavanagh's first. It is 5 goals to 32. The Queanbeyan Tigers 1-8, and we're just a tick before 25 minutes into this first term.
Just a quick update there from the Northern NEAFL under-22s. It's the NEAFL under-22 squad leading the SANFL under-20s 12-1-73 to 8-16-64. That's at three-quarter time. We're just waiting for another update from that. So to the Northerners, they're doing extremely well there. So a fantastic 8-16 to the SANFL. Some poor kicking, but how's that 12-1 for the under-22 side? So good luck to all those participants. Obviously, there's I think there's 10 from the Eastern Conference participating in that. Back to the middle of the ground, the umpire, a great bounce there as Ben Klimke's gone into the ruck with big Kane Morris only as far as the pack, but it's shuffled out there from it's Sean Ellis at the bottom of that pack, and there's a free kick here. It's going the way of Ben King, the ever reliable, the Nugget. He's done some wonderful jobs for the Tigers. I thought he was close to the Alex Jezelenko medalist last year in the grand final, but that's down towards Slater, who's marked his football with an impressive return. He puts it down towards Kavanagh. It's chopped off by Goulet. No, it wasn't Goulet. It was Jack Kusner in the 37. It's only as far, that's a up and under there, and it's punched away there by Sean Campbell for the Tricolours, only as far as Benny King, and it's taken away over to Atkinson. Atkinson with a standing start from 50, and I tell you what, it's going to bounce, and it's hit the post. So just off one step, Jared Atkinson. Unbelievable power there. Of course, he's had some lower limb issues with his hamstrings and so forth throughout his stay with the Tigers, beg your pardon, but it's the Tricolours who whip it away only as far as it's Danaher out there, I think it is. It is Danaher. He elects to switch the play across to the ever-reliable Toby Conroy. He gets a leap up there, but only as far as the Tricolour defender. And the umpire has no alternative but to bounce the ball centre wing here at Ainslie Oval, round 8 North Eastern Football League action. It's taken away by... And we've just got some news here from the under-22s. It's the under-22 side have defeated the SANFL under-20s 15-2-92 to 11-20-86. So a 6-point victory to the NEAFL lads there. A fantastic effort there over in South Australia, and that'll be buoyed by a lot of confidence for these younger guys that represented the NEAFL. And obviously you had the opportunity to be coached by Sean Hart, the Gold Coast Suns mentor, former Brisbane player, and of course ably assisted by Bill Collins' own Damien Tuck. But it's out into the hands of Ash Harris. Ash Harris drives the ball down towards that of Horner, who's made good position. Great grab, Simon Horner. Horner with a quick handball over that to Lucas O'Neill. Lucas O'Neill puts another ball in front of, it's down there, it's down towards Clint Mathis. Drops what he should have taken. Clint Mathis and another opportunity, but Lockie Crook, he gets it quickly onto his boot, only as far as Benny King, who's had his head ripped off out there. Free kick, Benny King in the back pocket for the Queanbeyan Tigers. They're doing a lot of defending out there, Michael.
They are, but they have definitely stemmed the flow the last 5 minutes. They've got their hands on the football a bit more. That opening 20 minutes was all Ainslie. It looked like how far, but they've definitely got their hands on the footy a bit more, starting to control the tempo. They'd like probably another goal to go in at quarter time. Time might be against them there. The kick's out towards the outer side wing. Players form to try and get the hands on the ball. They can't do so. Bit of a cake of soap out there at the moment. Picked up now by the Queanbeyan Tigers. Handball comes out, looking for someone to run on the end of it, but no one was there for Queanbeyan. Picked off now by Ben Klemke. Gets out of one tackle, goes to Atkinson. Good work there by Ainslie. Cut off the handball, but Ben King has got his hands on the ball in the last 5 minutes. Ball now comes out to Conroy. Conroy have some space now. That might be Jolliffe. Takes one bounce. Goes by hand. Tigers now going into their forward 50. James gets just far too far. Ball was like a bullet there for James Kavanagh. Too hard to handle. And mopping up nicely again is Marcus Crook. But his kick goes too long, out of bounds on the full. As I mentioned earlier, Brett, Marcus Crook, he's got his hands on a lot of the football. You'd need to have somebody manning him up across there. He's getting way too much footy, and he's very damaging on that left foot.
Absolutely, as Benny King turns the footy over only as far as Nick Hayne. He was looking for Atkinson, but Nick Hayne in the middle of the ground, he dummies around Atkinson with the left foot straight down to that over the open space to Simon Horner. If you don't mind, they've made a fantastic effort there. They've kept the space open. Simon Horner for his first for the afternoon, and the tricolour 6 leading all the way here at Ainslie Oval, and the Tigers with a lot of work to do, Michael.
Yeah, a lot of work to do, but that was a training ground drill, that one. I reckon they've done that on a Tuesday or a Thursday night here at Ainslie Oval on numerous occasions. That looked very well orchestrated. Space was there, the kick was perfect, and Horner just ran onto it, and he deserves that goal. He's been dominant in this first term, and that's just reward for his opening 27 minutes of this first quarter. Queanbeyan Tigers all to do. Ainslie 6-2-38. Last year's premiers 1-3-9 in all sorts of trouble here at Ainslie Oval. As the Rucks will go at it again, it'll be Irwin against the big fella in Morris, who's dominating in that centre square. Picked off there by King. Around the corner to Slater. Gets it by hand. Tigers moving into their forward line now. Goes towards James Kavanagh. The kick's a wide one though. Kavanagh can't take the mark. Wills around. That's a great tackle. Got to be holding the ball. And it is. Fantastic tackle there by Lachlan Highfield. And he would take the relieving free kick, plus 50 for the Ainslie Tricolours.
He's done a fair job on Kavanagh down there, Lachlan Highfield. So one thing about Coach Rourke, he puts a lot of confidence in his youngsters, and you could see Goulet and Kuzna, and obviously we've got Sean Ellis. They're all starting to rise and get some games under their belt and building this senior core, but it's over to Crook, who's touched the footy plenty of times in this opening quarter, down towards that of Bennett, who's double teamed only as far as Irwin. As the siren goes for the first quarter here at Ainslie Oval, it is Ainslie 6-2-38 leading the Queanbeyan Tigers 1-3-9. Here for the second quarter, Michael, we've spoke about the Tigers' endeavour for the second quarter. What can we expect?
Well, there's no doubt they need to man up on their Ainslie counterparts. Ainslie got far too much ball and used it quite well in their forward line. They have the dominant forwards on the ground. But the Queanbeyan Tigers just need to go a bit more one-on-one. Try and make it a scrappy affair. And that's where, drag Ainslie down to their, not their level, but just drag it down to a level which they can handle at the moment. They just don't seem to have the ability to go with Ainslie at the moment. Jolliffe now screaming into the forward line. Beautiful looking kick. and the mark has been taken down there by Fulford, and he should go back and get his first of the afternoon, 10th of the season, and the Queanbeyan Tigers' second goal. And that would be exactly what Coach Klemke would have pleaded for, and he's missed. Just when you pump them up and you know they need a goal, they let you down nearly every time. But good start there by the Queanbeyan Tigers. Good work there by Jolliffe out of the middle.
He's been a real find, Ben Fulford, for the Queanbeyan Tigers. It's in the hands of Crook. Crook kicks to himself and he runs away on that favoured left side. It goes over to that of Goulet. Goulet only as far as the two Queanbeyan defenders out there towards Ellis, but an umpire's picked a free kick. I think it's going out to that of... No, it's Rob Toohey on the ground there. No, it's back to Goulet. The umpire didn't make his mind up. He puts it down towards Horner, who was very good in that first quarter. Swan still staying on Horner, and I think it is Kirkwood onto Bennett. So that's unchanged in the defensive post, the key defensive posts for the Tigers. But it's just trickled away over the boundary line. We'll see a boundary line throw in 45 metres from the Tricolours' goal. So I think the scoring end is the end that Queanbeyan are kicking to this end too, Michael, this quarter. I believe that is the scoring end here at Ainslie Oval, kicking towards the city.
Definitely hope so, because that would make it a great contest if it is. But there's no breeze to speak of, so there's no rhyme or reason as to why it is. As we speak, Ainslie about to kick a goal. Or will he pay the push? If he's paid the push, it looked like it was in the side from here, but obviously we're not in as good a position as the umpire. And I'm not a really big fan of that rule at all.
The bumper bar rule, Michael.
Well, back in the day, if a full forward and a full back are sitting there scrapping against each other, you just let it go on for a show of strength. It's great for the crowd. It's great for the two combatants, but it just takes a little bit of the element out of the game, which I used to enjoy. But the ball's on the half forward line for Ainslie. Quick kick in. Should be swatted there by Swan. Good work there by Jensen. Kick around the corner is effective, and the mark has been taken by Stephen Camp. I like his first term. Looks like he's got a bit, this kid. Kick's not a good one. Slater's got some work to do. He's going to give a free kick away, surely. No, yes, umpire eventually, the one 60 metres away, pays it. Easy holding the man / too high, and the free kick is to be taken by Kuzna. Kuzna goes back to Crook. Just keeps racking him up, does Crook. Got to be high up at this stage in the Muir medal. Just too much class there is Crook. Goes long and strong towards, is that Horner down there? Why wouldn't you? He dominated the first term. Good work there by the Ainslie players, but it's cut off now. Goes back into pack. Danaher tries to get the handball out. Is that a push in the back to Danaher? Not seen by the umpire. That's got to be too high. And the free kick is going to be taken by Camp. Should allow play to go on as Danaher races off with the football. Goes to the half-forward line. This is where the Tigers have struggled. Good effort there by the Queanbeyan Tiger player in Curlin. Ainslie had the numbers. They couldn't get the ball, though. Good work by Klemke to Irwin. Irwin to Slater. Slater to Atkinson. This is good footy. Just need the finish. He won't be able to get there, though. Wrapped up immediately by two Ainslie players. He's a bit stiff with the call of holding the ball. Not quite sure what he could do. Ainslie in quick transition. Good mark again. Taken by the Ainslie power forwards to Ellis. Ellis, tries to run through the brick wall. How is that not holding the ball? Umpire had to be. Pack forms, and the resultant free kick is a soft one. It's going to go to Queanbeyan Tigers, but I reckon that free kick might have been made up for the missed holding the ball. Had to be holding the ball against Ellis, Brett.
Yes, it had to be. He did try and take the player on there, but a player of Sean's ability should be able to get around them. Just a quick score out of Sydney. It's the Sydney Hills Eagles versus the Eastlake Demons. The Demons in front 2-6-18 to the Hills Eagles 2 behind. So an interesting clash there at Bruce Purser Oval in Sydney. It's back to the play here. It's out to that ball magnet and Toby Conroy. Conroy down to Kavanagh. How many times have we heard that over the last 18 months? They're a lethal combination. Toby Conroy, for me, is probably one of my favourite players in the competition. Just racks them up, and he probably doesn't get much of the accolades that he probably deserves. I'm sure internally at the Tigers they love his work, but down to the superstar full forward in James Kavanagh. Kavanagh coming in. And what should be a beautiful kick. It looked a little bit wobbly off the boot, but he's kicked many a goal at this ground, James Kavanagh. So he gets the the Tigers. I think it's their second and his second. So both goals coming from the boot of James Kavanagh after good lead-up work by Toby Conroy.
Yeah, that's the key today for the Queanbeyan Tigers. If they are going to score, they've got to get the ball in the hands of the players that can use the football. And Toby Conroy is definitely one of those. You talk about how he's probably not recognised outside of the Queanbeyan Tigers. He's definitely recognised within the black and gold camp. He's a best and fairest winner. Might have even been runner-up last year as well. So they definitely are very pleased with what he does on the football field. It's not just what he does on the field, it's what he does outside of the field as well. He's very, very good at communicating and assisting some of the young fellas as well. He's just one of those all-round good fellas that every footy club wants to have and needs to have if they are to be successful. Not a great bounce there by the umpire. It's going to be called back, and we'll have a second crack at it with the two ruckmen, one being Irwin for Queanbeyan Tigers and Morris for Ainslie. Irwin, if we recall, did get rubbed out for 4 weeks for a hit on an Ainslie player in round one. Interesting, we've seen no repercussions of that so far today. Ben King takes a bounce, undecided what to do. Handballs to a player who was stationary when kicking was probably the best option. But up here by Jolliffe. He goes backwards, makes some space. Danaher kicks off one step towards Kavanagh. Is he manhandled? No. Heathfield goes to ground, but the ball goes out of bounds. And we'll have a throw-in about 35 metres around from the Queanbeyan Tigers goal. It's the Ainslie Tricolours there, 6 goals, 2-38. To the Queanbeyan Tigers, 2-4-16, 5 minutes in, second term.
It is a boundary line throw in 35 metres out. I think the umpire's picked a free kick out of this, and it'll be go to the Tigers. I think it's going to big Nathan Curlin down there. We'll see how his goal kicking skills are. I think it was a shepherd in the ruck against Jack Kuzner. So he's about 30 metres out on a slight angle. Should be no problems for the big Curlin if he aims it at the right post. Here at Ainslie, allows it to swing naturally. It is the goal scoring end. That'll be 2 in 2 minutes for the Tigers. It's just what Klemke wanted. He puts it up, he gives it a bit of air. The goal umpire doesn't move, if you don't mind. Nathan Curlin, well done. He gets the Tigers second in 2 minutes as they chip away at the scoreboard, Michael, here at Ainslie Oval, round 8 North Eastern Football League action.
Well, whatever Coach Klemke said at quarter time, it's paid dividends in the first 6 minutes of this second term. And Ainslie have gone to sleep a bit. They're just not first to the football at the moment. Tigers are a little bit more desperate, but I'm sure that Ainslie will hit back at some stage during this second term. It's just how long this momentum can continue for the Queanbeyan Tigers and how much scoreboard pressure they can apply. Ball is back in the middle. Irwin again will do the ruck work. I think it might be your man. Is it Kuzner in there for Ainslie? No, it was Gourlay. Ball's near Queanbeyan Tiger territory again. Good work there by Jensen. Got the handball out. Pack forms. Umpire letting the play go. Good umpiring. Let the players sort it out themselves. Picked up by Hine. Gets a handball out, but it's only going to go as far as Atkinson. Across to Danaher. Danaher looking for Kavanagh a long way from home. Highfield with him and will be for most of the afternoon, you'd expect. The umpire's going to pay a free kick to Highfield for too high, and he will take the relieving free kick inside his own defensive 50 as he looked to go towards Toohey in the goal square. Thought better of it. Good lead up there by Horner, working really hard at centre half forward, but I guess from a Tiger perspective, you won't mind him getting the ball about 60 metres out from his own goal, Brett.
Absolutely, as Horner directly down the wing, he goes directly down the line, down towards Kuzner. He gets and makes space there over towards the diminutive Hurst. Hurst with a quick handball out towards Lachlan Crook. It is out there. Crook with a handball in the direction of Kuzner. Wasn't good enough to grab it, but the Tigers with the right blokes getting their hands on the footy in Jolliffe, Conroy, starting to make inroads out to the coach in Klemke. Klemke swings a band on the right boot, puts it up and under. Get under that one, boys. It's in only as far as it's out there towards Sean Campbell. Campbell in the middle of the ground with a quick kick, handball over to Chris Barry. Barry with the quick kick into the Ainslie forward line towards that of Bennett, but the Hayne there, and it's a quick handball over to Bennett. Bennett was good enough to finish off the slick handball there from Nick Hine, so proving a handful inside the forward 50 is that of Bennett and Hine. A lethal combination as we saw last week against the Demons. They're continuing it out here at Ainslie today. They'll have to do something down inside that forward 50, Michael, if the Tigers to make further inroads into that scoreboard.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what though, Brett. They're a bit lacking in body strength and height down there. I think Swan is the right man for Horner. Swan is the key defender down there, but, do you swing Heaslip down there? Do you maybe put Heaslip in the ruck or then put Irwin back in the back line, who was a former backman? So, look, they've got a few options, but to strengthen one area, they're definitely going to have to weaken another. So, I guess you try and get the ball out of the middle first and hope that the centre players can restrict the ball movement going into the Ainslie forward line by getting their hands on the football. Good tap down there by Gourlay. Pack forms. No effort been made by the Ainslie players. I'm not sure what's happening with that rule today, Brett, but usually what we've seen on the TV with the AFL, that would have been holding the ball 9 times out of 10. Not so far today. If they're consistent, we don't mind. Shepherding rule has been paid, and it will go to Gourlay. So he will get the free kick just backward of the centre circle for Ainslie. So he will launch them back into attack once more. And you've got to go towards Horner. No, he doesn't. He spots a teammate there in Eastoe on the left boot. That's a beautiful kick there by Eastoe. And Ainslie get 2 in about 35 seconds to march further in front. It is 8 goals to 48 to the Queanbeyan Tigers, 2-4-16. And any chance of a Tiger comeback early in this second term has been quashed in less than a minute.
Absolutely. That was a fantastic bit of play there from James Eastoe. He made space there, he ran onto the footy, and he made the kicker make the decision to kick it to him. So just another key move. They've put Toby Conroy to try and fish out Marcus Crook inside the forward 50 there. He's been absolutely penetrating and dynamic off that half-back flank and setting up a lot of their scoring attacks as Marcus Crook, and he has now responded by going into the middle of the ground. So it's a bit of a coaching war out there in here at Ainslie Oval, but it's Atkinson versus Gourlay. I've liked Goulay's work in the middle of the ground. He gets first hands to it, but only as far as Sam Jensen for the Tigers. He's a little bit indecisive with the footy. He gets it over there towards the coach, and Klemke is it? No, it's out to Camp. Camp gets the 1-2, and he gets another handball further afield, and that's over to Matt Little. Matt Little with a poor kick off the boot. He gets only as far as out of bounds on the full, so he turns it straight back over in what should have been an attacking raid over to Tui. Tui on his own in the middle of the ground. It comes over to that man we were talking about, Crook, who's been everywhere today. We've got sore nodules from talking about him at the moment, but it's out towards the goal scoring James Eastoe. Eastoe was pushed off the footy there by that of Tim Shea, the first gamer, I think, today, is it? So it's now put over to that of Lachlan Highfield, who's having a great game out there on that of James Kavanagh. He's been ably supported in the middle of the ground, though, with the midfielders doing the job, but it's over to Highfield. He puts it down the line long towards Horner. Why wouldn't you go down there? He's already taken 5 or 6 marks. It's only as far as Lucas O'Neill, but there's a real scrap. It's out to the Benny King. He shows his toughness. Only as far as Lachlan Crook. Lachlan Crook straight on the boot. It wobbles down towards the boundary line as far as Frenchie and Sean Ellis, and it beats both of them over the boundary line for a boundary line throw in right on the 50-metre arc here at Ainslie Oval. Bathed in glorious sunshine, Michael, here today for Muir Medal Day at Ainslie Oval.
Yeah, it's a fantastic day here at Ainslie Oval. The women's pink footy day here at Ainslie Oval. Some of the Ainslie coaching staff looking fantastic in their pink Ainslie shirts as Ainslie get the ball into their forward line, in their forward pocket. To ground goes the leading goalkeeper of the competition in Josh Bennett, and we'll have a boundary throw-in. Sorry for the noise in the background, but we've got Ainslie people running around everywhere here. They're looking for batteries. Obviously some communication issues down there at the change rooms end. And Ellis has a flying shot for goal. Misses to the left. That was one that he would normally take. He's kicked one so far this afternoon. And Ainslie just keep fluttering away at that scoreboard. It potentially looks like it could get ugly here. Brett, it just need Queanbeyan Tigers just need to stem the flow as they try to get the ball out of their defensive 50. Picked up now by Queanbeyan Tiger player in Camp. There's going to be a throw, and it is. It's holding the ball. Gourlay's been really impressive in this first 10 minutes of this term. I like his leap. He's got a really good basketballer's type leap, and he goes short to the shortest player on the ground in Ellis.
Absolutely. Ellis gets to line up for his second shot in about 2 minutes. The diminutive small forward Sean Ellis, he's blessed with pace, but I've really liked the work of young John Gourlay. He's a real handful, and his centre square work's been quite nice. But back to the field, it's Sean Ellis. He kicks his second for the afternoon as they forge further ahead the tricolours. They're doing it in their canter out here at Ainslie Oval. The Tigers don't seem to have any answers for Muir Medal Day. I thought they might have got up for this one, but of course the Tigers have got a big program, Michael. They've played the NT Thunder in the Foxtel Cup, and they go to Etihad on May 28 to take on Werribee, and they had their first loss last week, of course, to the Belconnen you mentioned at the top of the program. So they've got a heavy program coming up in the coming weeks, and of course that they've been crippled by injuries as well.
It doesn't get any easier. They play the Sydney Swans next week as well, so backs are against the wall out at Tigerland, but that's when they're at their most dangerous, as we've known over the last couple of decades, and even further back before my time, Brett, that when they are against the odds, they do tend to find something. They're going to have to find something pretty quickly here, as they are looking at near on a 7-goal deficit here at Ainslie Oval. Kick goes into their forward line, but it's all Ainslie back there. It's a raffle of 3 players. First one to the ball was Kuzner. Goes across to Tui, back to Kuzner. Oh, he's got so much time he can get himself in trouble and get back out of it again. Goes out long, but is that a mark there to Conroy? No, not paid. Hit the ground first. Picked up by Jensen. To Heaslip. Haven't called his name enough this afternoon. Picked up now. That should be Coach Klemke. They're going in circles, the Queanbeyan Tigers. Void of ideas. Picked off now by Conroy. Usually uses it pretty well. Goes to Slater. Still 60 metres out from the Queanbeyan Tiger goal, but have a look. Kavanagh has 4 players on him, and that is the silliest kick you'd want to see in football. If there's 4 players on one player, that means there's 3 Tigers loose. Very poor, ill discipline by the Queanbeyan Tiger player getting that ball in the forward line, as Ainslie will get the ball out through Barry. Barry now. Half back line for the tricolours. Goes to Horner. Swan's just not close enough to Horner at the moment in the marking contest. Picked off now by the Queanbeyan Tiger player in Shea. Danaher, high, wide, and just inside the line. But just on that the other point there, Brett, James Kavanagh had 4 Ainslie players on him. Now, his role is to lead. That doesn't mean he wants it every time the ball comes in. So really silly play by the Queanbeyan Tigers, and they've got to make that noted at half-time.
Absolutely. I think you touched on something more important. Queanbeyan aren't doing the things that they're renowned for, Michael, which is just the basics in footy, and that's where they've built their reputation over the last 12 to 18 months under Coach Klemke, was just the basics in footy, and they're all amiss today. So Ainslie doing as they like. They're without pressure. It's over to Barry on the left foot, broadcast side, into that of Swan. He's just not getting enough body on Horner. Horner's doing as he likes. It's out towards that of Danaher. Danaher through the middle of the ground to the run of Frenchie. Frenchie holds the ball up. He doesn't really need to do that. He needs to play on quickly in the middle of the ground. Very indecisive. He's been called to play on now. He decides to run and bounce. He's probably not good enough to do. That's his second bounce. Gets it onto the left boot now, down towards that of Kavanagh. Was nowhere near him. Allows Lachlan Highfield the easiest of marks to sweep it away over to Walker. Walker with a handball over to Kuzner. Kuzner's doing as he likes, running out there towards Fleming. Made good position there on Jolliffe. Haven't called his name much, Stevie Jolliffe. Out towards the lead and the charge of Bennett. And guess who? The leading goal kicker in the competition, 40 metres out, gets the opportunity to put his 4th on the board, and the tricolours 4th for the second quarter. They did as they liked there, Michael. End to end, not even a hand from the Queanbeyan players.
And that is the difference between the two sides right now. Just the use of the football. Just a lot cleaner, Ainslie going into one-on-one contests, as Bennett kicks on a full short. Didn't get much power into that one. Punched away by the Queanbeyan Tiger defence into the danger zone. Kick off the ground by Ainslie. That should be a goal. And we don't quite know who it might be. It could be Hurst. Not too much patting on the back down there. Not quite sure who that was. So we'll have to put that down. We'll have to try and venture downstairs and find out who that was at half-time.
I think you'll find it was James Eastoe.
You reckon it was Eastoe?
Yeah, I think it was. It's this fella that's coming off the ground at the moment. I think it is...
It might have been Scotty Campbell.
Sean
Campbell, sorry. We'll give it to Campbell as he comes off. Usually when you kick a goal, you come off these days, so we'll have to put it down to him. I'm baffled by that too, but I'm a bit of a dinosaur when it comes to football these days.
He came off with a big smile anyway, Michael, so it was great to see back into the middle of the ground as the two dinosaurs go at it. It is Morris and it is Curlin in the middle of the ground. Umpire, poor bounce. He probably should have recalled that one, but only as far as Ash Harris. Ash Harris gets a quick toe along the ground, out towards the run of the speedy Hurst. I've liked his work in the last couple of weeks. He gets a ball inside the forward 50. It trickles all comers and beats them over. No, it's going to go back into the arms of Hurst, and he gets only as far as the boundary line. Umpire has no alternative but to throw the ball in here at Ainslie Oval. Round 8 Northeastern Football League action, of course, Michael. Port Adelaide getting a nice old touch-up out there at Alberton from the Tigers, who started in a blaze of glory, but can they bounce back? Your mob, of course.
You're not making the day any nicer for me, are you, Brett? Tigers are getting flogged, Ports are getting flogged. It's a great Saturday afternoon here at Ainslie Oval. I can't wait for Mother's Day tomorrow. Put the pressure on somebody else. But it's all Ainslie here at the moment.
Yeah, just to rub it in further, half-time Richmond lead Port Adelaide 11-5, 71 to 4-5, 29. As we go down to other games in Round 8 Northeastern Football League, it's the Sydney Hills Eagles taking on the Demons at Bruce Purser. It's 4-7-31. The Demons leading the Eagles 1-3-9, so they're doing it in a bit of a canter down there at Bruce Purser. The Eagles struggling, of course. Eamon Buchanan with a medial strain is out of the side. That's a big blow for them. But back here to Ainslie Oval, there's a plethora of whistles going on, and it's a free kick out there to Horner. The blue-booted Horner leans back on the footy, puts it up in that direction, only as far as the Queanbeyan defenders in Klemke. Klemke was quick to recover. Below his knees, he's very good, is Klemke. Out towards Jolliffe. Haven't called his name much. Needs to get a little bit of a motor on and start injecting himself in the game. Over towards Klemke. Klemke out towards Danaher, it is. Danaher over towards Kirkwood. If they get the ball in these guys' hands and they start to run the footy, they can mount a serious challenge. It's out towards Sam Jensen, but that was a poor option there from Kirkwood. He kicked to a 2-on-1, but it's beaten them all again, and it's another boundary line throw-in.
Problem you've got, Brett, is they're getting their hands on the footy in the defensive zone, and they really aren't going to make too much impact on the scoreboard getting it in their defensive 50. As the Rucks go at it again, Gourlay has just got a great vertical leap, picked off there by Crook, straight to the hands, that might be Hurst, across to Ash Harris on the left boot. That's a beautiful goal. Good football by Ainslie, and they go further in front here at Ainslie Oval. It is an absolute canter for them. The scoreboard is up to speed. It's 10 goals, 3, 63. No, it's 11, 3, 69. The scoreboard a little bit behind. Queanbeyan Tigers 3-4, 22. But Brett, you're right up with it, and thank you very much for that.
Absolutely, the tricolours there doing as they like. No hands laid on Ash Harris as he laid that one off with the big left boot. Kicks his first for the afternoon. They're doing it in a canter. Really like the work of Johnny Gourlay in the boundary line, throwing straight down to little Lachlan Crook. He put it over to that run of Harris. Unaccountable with the Queanbeyan defenders, allowing him to get goal sight, just not doing the basics right, Michael. We've spoken about their lack of experience, but they're the basics in footy and they don't elude you. But back to the middle of the ground, it's Curlin v it's Andrews out there, is it? No, it's not Andrews, it's Gourlay in the middle of the ground. Andrews, of course, he misses this week with a shoulder, 3 weeks on the sideline. For big Rowan Andrews is back into the umpire as he throws it up again. It's Heaslip doing battle against Gourlay, only as far as Conroy. Conroy jams it on the boot down towards James Kavanagh. Kavanagh with a very sloppy tackle there on, slides into Walker. Walker with a quick hands over there towards Alex Birch. Of course, a great story about Alex Birch in the paper today. The boy that was on the GWS list lost interest in footy, plays his first senior game today, and they're rapt to have him back in the tricolours colours here at Ainslie Oval today. Of course, it's back in the middle of the ground with Jolliffe, drops what he should have taken, but he was good enough to recover only as far as Curlin. Curlin over towards Franchi. Franchi onto that trusty left boot into that of Ben Klemke, right on the centre wing. Ben Klemke leans back on the ball over towards Kuzna, kicked it to the smallest man on the field, or one of the smallest in Liddell, and it was punched away over the boundary line there, and the umpire will throw it in right under the natural image here sign here at Ainslie Oval. Round 8 Northeastern football action. It's 1v5. You'd swear it was the other way round at the moment, what we're witnessing, but it's put forward in by the Queanbeyan on-ballers, and they put it in towards James Kavanagh, who was pushed under the footy, and he'll get a free kick, so he gets an opportunity to line up for his third and the Tigers' fourth. A lot of work to do to come back from here, Michael.
Yeah, he's been starved of opportunities, James Kavanagh. He's kicked 2. If he kicks this, that's obviously his third, and you'd be well happy with that considering the amount of football the Tigers have got into their forward line. We've said it before, they do miss Ryan Quaid. You mentioned they kicked to Matt Little before. If Quaid was there, would have gone straight to him. James Kavanagh's missed to the left-hand side. And the Queanbeyan Tigers desperately needed that and then some. It's 11 goals, 3-69 to the Tigers, 3-5-23. That's a 46-point margin. 25 minutes gone in this second term as Crook kicks the ball to himself, goes towards his teammate in Fleming. Good work there by Jolliffe. You mentioned he hasn't got the ball too often, but he's not on his own here at Ainslie Oval as Toby Conroy will be coming off with the blood rule. Must have got a nick in a pack somewhere. And Jolliffe, he's got the ball about 55, 60 metres out from goal as Jensen comes on to replace Conroy. He's got blood streaming from his head as Toby Conroy. They'll just quickly fix that up. Jolliffe.
Bit more of a nick, a bit more than a nick, I think, Mike.
Yeah, maybe. Look, I'm assuming the sweat has made it look worse than it is, but the Queanbeyan Tigers just seem very hesitant with the football at the moment, not quite sure what they're doing. And that's what happens when you haven't got your leading captain down there at centre-half forward. You start looking for other ideas and you go against the principles of football, which is kick it into the danger zone. And they're kicking wide when they go into their forward line. Picked off now by Irwin. A handball of hope of sorts goes to nobody in particular. Crook, that's going to be too high. Umpire circles and agrees. And Marcus Crook just keeps racking up get him. He's got to be near on 20 possessions in this first half. He's a very good user of football to use. Great mark taken there, not taken in the end by Klemke. Should have held that. Ball comes to ground. Irwin not really trying to get rid of it. Umpire, you've got no alternative. And that's the first time they've done that today. We've seen that on a few occasions where we thought was going to be holding the ball. Didn't pay it. Handball off towards the Ainslie player in Campbell. Goes out wide to the runner. He could have kept going there, but didn't in Birch. Birch goes short. Beautiful looking kick to Horner. And Horner marks just inside the forward 50. And he will go back and attempt to slot his second goal of the afternoon. And Ainslie's 12th of a very productive first half, Brett.
Absolutely, they're leading in all facets of the game out here at Ainslie Oval, basked in beautiful sunshine as Horner comes in for what could be his first, and the tricolours 12th for the afternoon. Not a bad work for the half of footy as he gets onto a good one there, but it's not good enough, and it gets taken away into the arms of the diminutive Sean Ellis. He's bread and butter. He's probably the best front and square player in the competition at the moment. Reads it extremely well off the hands. Sean Ellis, that's his third. Is he playing his way into representative honours as a small forward as Dale Walker comes from the ground? But it's the tricolours who have just kicked their sixth for the quarter, and they skip further away. It's 12-3-75 to 3-5-23 to the Tigers. A lot of work to do for the Tigers, Michael, to come back from here.
Well, it's made easier by skipping through some witches' hats down there. I don't know how a player can get through 3 or 4 blokes in a goal square and be able to kick the ball over his shoulder. That's just very disappointing defensive work by the Queanbeyan Tigers. I'm sure that'll be spoken about at half-time. Smallest player on the ground, ducks and weaves out of 4 or 5 would-be tacklers. That's very poor football indeed. But we talked about that already, the fundamentals. They're not doing right as Ainslie get the ball back into their forward 50. It seems camped in there for the entire first half. Picked off now here by Franchi. Gets it by hand. Tigers just need to run, start taking a few risks. King now for the Queanbeyan Tigers gets it. This is where they're having trouble. They're getting a lot of possession across the half back line, wasting a lot of energy, but not really going anywhere. Picked off there by Fleming. Around the corner. It's 2v1. Good punch away by the Tiger defence. It's in the hands now of Haley. Haley around the corner. Went to get the kick, but the ball went out of bounds first, and we'll have a relieving throw-in about 40 metres around from the Ainslie goal. 12 goals, 3-75. Queanbeyan Tigers are 3 goals, 5-23. Tigers trying to ring all the changes, but everything they try at the moment is not working for them. Good work there by Horner. Gets the tap down. Pack forms. Picked off there by Irwin. Good pick up there by Jolliffe. He's just got to run. Jolliffe goes short. James Kavanagh marks at centre half back. Searching that far to get a kick. Goes towards Atkinson. Now he can run. Good chase here by the Ainslie player. Atkinson from inside the square goes long, strong. That's what we've seen over the last 12 to 18 months from him. That's a great goal by Atkinson. Just needs to get his hands on the football a bit more. And if he does that, how damaging can he be? The Queanbeyan Tigers get a great goal, but unfortunately they are still near on 8 goals behind. It's Ainslie, 12 goals, 3-75. to the Queanbeyan Tigers, 4-5-29.
Got an interesting question for you, Michael. I've always wondered, often when I was coaching and you're in these sorts of situations, do you ring the wholesale changes and look for something different out there? Or do you stick to your tried and true structures? I mean, when you're 9 goals down on the scoreboard, I often wonder if it's worth experimenting to try and get you back into the game.
Well, back in the younger days, mate, you'd take the forwards and put them in the back line and put the back line in the forward line, but I don't think we're at that level anymore. We're a bit past that. But look, I think you just got to stick to your structures. That's what you do for, most of the season, and if you want to steer away from that, you can try a few different things, try a few players in different positions, but you just don't go away from the structures and what you've been training for over the pre-season. But whatever they're doing at the moment isn't working. We have talked about the lack of quality players that are missing out of the Queanbeyan Tigers lineup. Ainslie have a fair share out as well, but it's that depth of the Queanbeyan Tigers as a football club at the moment. Their reserves had a pretty good effort today against Ainslie, but didn't come home with the chocolates. But Ainslie just seemed to have a bit more talent across the board here to work with. As the ball is on the outer wing here at Ainslie Oval, we've commented on the day. What a sensational day it would be to play football. 23 degrees in Canberra in May. Unheard of in my time here in the nation's capital. Picked off there by the Queanbeyan Tiger player in Heaslip. Gets spun around Ainslie. Just seem to have all the answers at the moment. Good work there by the Ainslie play in Mathers. The ball goes towards Horner, one of the best players on the ground. Around on his left, goes towards Bennett, the lethal combination. And here's another one, Ellis. He goes to ground, should have kept his feet. Picked up again, goes around the witches' hats and kicks a goal. And that is just very, very poor defensive work by the Queanbeyan Tigers. I might be taking some credit away from Ellis, who's very, very dangerous in that situation. But you just got to watch the hips, Brett, and go straight through him.
Absolutely, but let's not take anything away from Sean Ellis. Of course, he crossed from Tuggeranong in the pre-season. I think sometimes you get to shine in an organisation when you do cross clubs, Michael, and he's now reaping the benefits of playing in a very good structure here at Ainslie, and they're using his pace and skill, and he's really playing his way into what could be a representative jumper. He is the form small forward of the competition, and I'm sure the Ainslie coaching staff would be chuffed with the efforts of Sean Ellis. But as you said, you keep your eyes on the hips, and it looks like they've made a change down there. I think is it Klimke going on to Ellis? Yes, it is. They have made a change, and it is Tim Shea, the first gamer, getting to go onto the 4-goal scorer in Sean Ellis's half-time rings out here at Ainslie Oval. It's the Tricolours in Muir Medal Day, 13-3-81, leading the Tigers 4-5-29. Michael, what have the Tigers got to do to come back?
Welcome back to the second half here at Ainslie Oval. It's all to do for the Queanbeyan Tigers. Ainslie Tricolours lead 13 goals 3-81 to the Tigers 4 goals 5-29. Tigers just need to get back to the bare basics, go man on man. We've talked about how many players they have missing. We probably should elaborate a bit more on Ainslie. They have plenty missing as well. So we're not seeing the two strongest 22s out here, but we're seeing one very, very strong 22 in Ainslie colours this afternoon as the Queanbeyan Tigers go into their forward line. They did score the first 2 goals in a hurry of that second term, but after that it was all Ainslie. As the Queanbeyan Tigers now look to mount an attack. Ball comes in now, smothered off the boot. Goes towards Franchi. Franchi bursts through 1, bursts through 2. This should be a lifter, but he's missed it. They really need to take every opportunity, Brett, and goals like that can make a huge difference to the psyche of a football team.
Absolutely. A very productive first half for the Tricolours. Of course, 13 goals resulting in it. Would have pleased the Ainslie coaching staff as they just chip it around. Franchi got off to a great start for the Tigers, but it's over to big Kane Morris. He comes down broadcast side into no man's land towards Horner. He meets the footy in front of Hurst. Hurst was met solidly by Irwin, and we'll get another boundary line throw in early in the premiership quarter. They've got a man to challenge the Tigers. I don't see them, from what I've seen today, making a spirited comeback, but it's Morris down to the hands of Conroy, and these tackled, and we'll get another throw up directly in front of us here, broadcast at Ainslie Oval, Michael, in what is a beautiful day. You went down and enjoyed the spectators' company at half time.
Yeah, it was stunning down there. A couple of chats to a few old timers couple of Ainslie players that I caught up with, so it was really good to get out. They were pretty keen to talk to me, of course, with their side up by near on 9 goals as the Queanbeyan Tigers try to get out of their half-back line. That's just a handball of hope, and Ainslie should go straight back into attack here now. They go backwards by hand to buy some time. Russ kick into the forward line. Bowls over the Ainslie forward in Bennett. Picked off now, the Queanbeyan Tigers. Again, ordinary looking kick out of defence. Going to come straight back with interest. Fleming has it now. Ash Harris provides the lead. That's ignored as it goes short towards the teammate there in Barry. Barry with the headgear. Looking to chip it across. No, decides not to. No, decides to go with his first option, and that is Fleming. Fleming now. Outer side wing here at Ainslie Oval. 13-3-81 to 4 goals, 6-30. Horner has dominated this game so far. Gets it across to Barry. Barry now goes inside 50. Punched away, is it? No, yes, it is finally punched away by the Queanbeyan Tiger defence. Ainslie have some numbers on the ground, but Tigers do get the ball out. Picked off now. Hand off to Matt Little. Little goes down the line to James Kavanagh, a long way from home. Takes the mark on the half-forward line. He's about 90 metres to 100 away from home. But Ainslie just seem to have all the answers at the moment. Pick it off. But again, Queanbeyan Tigers pick the pocket towards Danaher. Danaher goes down towards the forward line. Franchi can't take the mark, but it's all Ainslie down there. That might be Tui. Gets the ball into half-back line in Harris. Harris with the handball out wide. It is all Ainslie on the half-back line of the Queanbeyan Tigers. Ellis. Oh, Atkinson tries for the impossible. Clint Mathis kept his feet. Ball goes to ground. Great pick up there by Crook. Gets it by hand. Across now to Easto. Easto to Bennett. Just falls in front of him. Picks it up nicely. Tries to get out the tackle. Can't do so. Good work there by Kirkwood. Ball's in the back pocket with the Queanbeyan Tigers. They do have the number. Slater just can't bend over to pick it up. He must be about my age. He could not get down to the ground. Picked up by Atkinson. Goes short to Irwin. Met there by Cook. Got to be 50. And I reckon that might have been a little bit of retribution from round one as Irwin runs back with a smile on the dial. Won't be smiling when he looks at the scoreboard. 13-3-81 to 4-6-30. And that's a pretty short 50 for mine. Yeah. Anyway, Irwin.
Hardly flinched there, Michael, as he got a solid bump in the solar plexus from the Ainslie player in Crook, but he drives it forward down towards Kavanagh. Get under that, James, if you don't mind. But the Ainslie player in Jack Kuzner stood tall, liked his game today. He's intercepted everything that's come his way, as has most of the Ainslie back six, but only as far as the man as Irwin. So that's a poor kick out of the defensive area there by Tyson Karacha, and only in the arms of Irwin. Now back to the middle of the ground. Barry leaps high over that of Camp. He only as far as Goulet was held when not in possession, but he was good enough to recover. Quickly out to Ash Harris. Harris bangs it on the left boot. Poor kick looking for Bennett. This is a good duel when it's down on the ground. It's Kirkwood who wins out. He takes him on with his run and pace. His disposal lets him down at times. He puts it up in the air only as far as Barry, and undoes all his good work there, Michael, does Jeremy Kirkwood, but he's a very effective player when it does hit the ground. He has done a reasonable job on Bennett, even though Bennett has got 3 goals. But back into the middle of the ground here, it's Horner, that man who's doing all the damage, and Barry, who's racking up possessions in this quarter, down to the diminutive Sean Ellis, but only as far as Matt Little. Matt Little turns it back into Irwin. Irwin not knowing what to do with it. He pirouettes on the spot with a 360, only as far as Jolliffe. Jolliffe in the back half for the Tigers now. They're just playing this short chipping game over to Tim Shea, the first game. A Shea out broadcast side into the run of Atkinson. Atkinson steps inside his player in Easto, comes inboard towards that of Sam Jensen, but only as far as that of Rob Toohey for the Tricolours. Toohey heads out towards Horner. Horner takes on Swan and swirls him around in a big Titanic ship, only towards Rob Toohey, and it's keepings off at the moment as Toohey over to Campbell as they get into the middle of the ground. Not really gone far here at Ainslie Oval. 13-3-81 to the Tigers, 4-6-30 on Muir Medal Day.
Yeah, a lot of possessions by both sides here without too much penetration. Ainslie, broadcast side, picked off to Highfield. Highfield been pretty good down there for Ainslie in defence. He's had some troops in support, we must say. Kicks it now. Oh, great effort there by Ben Klemke. That's courage. Picked off now. Conroy's in the number 37. Gets it to Atkinson. Good use of the football to Jolliffe. Jolliffe running through the middle. Just needed to hit the body with the hand. Slater, good skills. Drop mark is that Swan. Swan, flying shot for goal, is high, wide and not very handsome. Goes through for a minor score. But that was some positive football by the Queanbeyan Tigers. They need more of it. But it's Ainslie now. They will get the ball out of... kick to himself is Tui. Goes long and strong. That's a beautiful looking kick. Straight to the arms of Walker. Hasn't called his name too often this afternoon. Probably one of the more quieter players for Ainslie. Campbell now. Goes through the centre of the ground. Picked off is Harris. Harris round on the left. Dodges around Conroy. Finally gets his kick. It's a good one to Fleming. Fleming can't take the mark. He's got numbers there in Barry if he needs him. Or he can go to Walker. Walker gets the handball off. Probably could have had a flying shot for goal then, could Walker. Picked off there by the Queanbeyan Tiger player in Haley. Haley goes out to the half-back line to Swan. Again, Ainslie have all the numbers. This is going to go back into their forward line towards their full forward in Bennett. Queanbeyan Tigers had the number. Can't get rid of the football. Pushing their back, says the umpire. And Bennett gave the free kick away to Jolliffe. Jolliffe by hand to the player who is standing still in Kirkwood. Goes out wide towards Kavanagh. Kavanagh, half-back line for the Queanbeyan Tigers. Yes, he is the full forward for the Queanbeyan Tigers on the half-back line. Goes short to Matt Little. Little now, just backwards of the outer wing here at Ainslie Oval. Not quite sure what to do, so he goes across the ground to Jolliffe. Jolliffe now goes short. Klemke takes the mark. Finally, the Queanbeyan Tigers get it over the centre of the ground. Handball across. Took his eyes off the ball, did the young player in Shea. Picked off by Ainslie. They should make them pay here. Ball's in the hands now of Easto. Approaching the 50. Easto, long kick towards the goal. How will it bounce? That's a goal. Great football there by Ainslie. Caused by the error for the Queanbeyan Tigers when Shea took his eyes off the ball. But Easto kicks his second of the afternoon and Ainslie get their 14th. It's 14 goals, 3-87 to the Queanbeyan Tigers, 4-7-31.
Absolutely, James Easto with some blistering, great turn of pace there, and he kicks his second for the afternoon. He showed a clean pair of heels on a couple of occasions out there. He looks a likely type. I think that's the thing that'd be impressing the Tricolours is the performance of some of their younger players in Goulet, Ellis, Easto. They must be wrapped with the performance of Lachlan Highfield on Kavanagh, and that seems to be the real difference. They've done some really good shutdown rolls, and of course, Big Kane Morris in the ruck, he's done really well there in the middle of the ground. The umpire should have brought that back, but it only went as far as Sean Campbell. He's got a clean pair of heels too. Out towards Jolliffe for the Tigers. He gets handball back to the pink-booted Slater. Slater with a quick handball to Benny King, follows up his good work. He goes for a bit of a gallop in the middle of the ground. It was a poor kick off the boot, only as far as out there to Sam Jensen. Jensen gets it on to the boot and he kicks what should have been a goal, but he pushes it wide for a minor behind. That's their third for the quarter, the Tigers, but they have looked promising. They are threatening to take the game on and they are running with the football. So that's a positive to come out of, but a quick play on out towards that of Highfield. Down, he turns back inside. He looks to turn the footy back inside towards Lachlan Crook it is. He's been quite impressive for the Tricolours too. He certainly puts his head over the footy and he gets to the hard-working Horner. Down towards Horner, he drops what he should have taken and it allows Jolliffe, Stevie Jolliffe to butter it up. He's really coming into the game at the moment. Down towards that of Jensen, but he drops what he should have taken. It's taken away there by Jed Costigan. Costigan sweeps it down towards the club side only as far as Hurst, and it doubles back on everyone in the arms of Walker. Walker goes for a run down through the middle of the ground. He finds Ash Harris unaccounted for. Probably should have played on. He was quick, too slow to quickly turn around in the middle of the ground. Gets onto the big left foot down towards that of Bennett. Allows Kirkwood to reach over the top. Irwin tries to take them on. Should have been dropping the ball. It's in the arms of Bennett. He's very good at that recovery below his knees into that man Ellis. Ellis has got to just pop it over the top here and it'll be a certain goal for the Tricolours. If you don't mind, Jack Kuzner finishes off his good work for the afternoon. He gets the Tricolours 15th for the afternoon as they skip further away here at Ainslie Oval.
Yes, he snuck on the ground, Kuzner. He went straight from the interchange, straight down to the goal square. No one picked him up, and that's why he was there all by himself. And I'm sure the Queanbeyan Tiger defenders are looking at each other going, how has this occurred? Lack of communication there from someone on the sideline. Should have picked that up and said, go man him up. He didn't, and he has kicked his first of the afternoon. Ainslie just seem to have all the answers here. Tigers have looked a little bit more cleaner in this third term, but unfortunately they just haven't got their hands on the football enough, and the ball is back in the middle. It's Irwin against Morris. Ainslie have definitely had the better of the ruck duel and the centre square as a whole. Picked off now. Oh, great meeting of the bodies there by Matt Little. That's what they need and need more of it. Irwin gets it across to Little. Deserves a goal after that. Kicks a long and strong one. That looks good from here. Danaher likes it. Queanbeyan Tigers get the quick reply, and Matt Little gets his first. But the Tigers are a long, long way behind. It is 15 goals 3, 93 to 5 goals 8, 38. We are 12 minutes gone in this third term here at a sun-drenched Ainslie Oval.
Fantastic effort there from Matt Little, obviously coming back into the team this week. But a quick score from Sydney at Bruce Purser. It's the Demons leading the Eagles, the Sydney Hills Eagles, 5-8-38 to 1-5-11. So a lot of work to do there for the Eagles. The Demons, very impressive on the road this season. So they get an opportunity to bounce back after last week's defeat at the hands of the Tricolours at Manuka Oval, or Star Trek Oval as it's now known for the AFL season. But it's all one-way traffic here at Ainslie Oval. It's the Tricolours 15-3-93 to 5-8-38. The Tigers with a mountain of work to do here on Muir Medal Day, as it's Morris who belts the ball forward. It's only as far as Klemke. Klemke drops what he should have taken, allowed that man who's probably close to best on the ground in Lachlan Highfield to put it down towards Horner, another man whose name we've called repeatedly this afternoon. He's been fantastic. He's really given Andrew Swan something to think about as a defensive key forward, but it's not helped when you're getting beaten comprehensively in the middle of the ground, Michael.
Yeah, you got to feel a bit of a bit for the defenders there for the Queanbeyan Tigers. They're under all sorts of pressure, but that still doesn't give you an excuse not to be a bit closer to your man. And Swan just hasn't been close enough for long enough so far this afternoon. As a kick by Horner looks really good off the boot. That's a goal. That's his second goal of the afternoon, a 9th for the season. And Ainslie just keep going further and further in front at 16 goals 3, 99. Queanbeyan Tigers 5-8-38, and they'll be doing well to stop a very embarrassing scoreline, Brett.
Absolutely, they need to really lock on and show that Queanbeyan spirit that they've displayed over the last 12 to 14 months, obviously resulting in their flag. But as we mentioned earlier in the program, they've had a very heavy schedule, Michael, and I think, as you well know, as you go deeper into September, it's getting harder and harder in the middle of the season to actually produce your best week in, week out. Obviously, they're a little bit undermanned with some representative duties and injuries, but it's no excuse for effort, Michael, and today the Queanbeyan Tigers have been given a football effort lesson today. So it's back into the middle of the ground, and it's Morris. Don't forget, Ainslie got 7 or 8 of their top liners missing as well. So it's an even more remarkable effort from the Tricolours, which would be pleasing the coaching staff. Of course, Coach Chris Rourke signed a 2-year extension during the week, and from all reports, all parties are chuffed with the result there. So that'll see him tie up probably an 8-year reign here at the Tricolours. A 10-year reign, I've just been informed, so that's a fantastic effort, and congratulations to Chris Rourke. Obviously a couple of premierships and rebuilding the club from the ground up.
10 years. Doesn't time fly as we get older? That's phenomenal. He's been here for, or will have been here for 10 years. As Ainslie get the ball out of their defensive zone, again, they just seem to do it with ease at the moment. They are looking the goods here and have been all afternoon. Highfield looks like he's been moved a bit further down the ground, goes towards the key target in Horner, but it's punched away by the Tiger defence and goes out of bounds. Half forward line, out of side for the Ainslie Tricolours as we just tick over the 20-minute mark in this third term. It's 16 goals 3, 99 to the home side. Queanbeyan Tigers, they are 5 goals 8, 38. 61 points is the margin, and they'll be doing well to keep it under that, the Queanbeyan Tigers, as Ainslie get the ball into their forward line from a quick kick out of the pack. Ellis is lurking, but picked up now by Highfield. Wheels around on the left, kicks towards goal. The umpire's making some yardage, misses to the right, and Highfield cannot get the goal as Ainslie tick further in front. It is 16 goals 4. They've notched up the 100 to the Queanbeyan Tigers, 5 goals 8, 38.
It'll be interesting to see what the Tigers' biggest losing margin over the last 12 months would be, but this would be one of their comprehensive beatings, and certainly a lack of effort out there today from the Tigers. But, of course, your mob's in the news this week, Michael. Man U replacing Sir Alex Ferguson, your much-supported sides. Man U, obviously Port Adelaide doing battle today out at Alberton, and they're getting a bath by the Tigers, and, of course, the Tigers out here today. You're not having much luck, are you? But,
no, I removed the belt and shoelace before I walked up here at half-time. It has not been a good week. Very, very sad week for myself and probably more people than just myself. But it's not going to get any better here at Ainslie Oval. But, of course, it will be all finished tomorrow when Manchester United do get their 20th Premier League title. So that'll be all smiles at Old Trafford. But back to the game. Sorry to go on to the English Premier League, but I do have the Man United top on as we speak, hence the reason it was brought up. But Kavanagh goes short, cut off there well by Dale Walker, and Walker with a long kick to the outer side does hang up a bit, gives the Tiger players a chance to get there and spoil, which they do. But again, mopping up there, as he has done for a fair bit of the afternoon. Was that Tui, I think it might have been, goes out wide. Ball should beat the player out of bounds in O'Neill. Haven't called his name much. That might not be because he hasn't had a kick. Might just be our mistake. And the ball is out of bounds. Out of side here at Ainslie Oval as the shadows start to form from the stands and the trees here on the grandstand side. Good work there by Gourlay. God, he does have a good leap. Picked off there by the Ainslie player. Well tackled by Matt Little as those two continue on with it afterwards. That is Matt Little and Sean Campbell just getting to know each other a bit better on the outer side wing. Football is still being played, boys. Barry gets around on his left boot to Horner. He has had so much space at centre half forward. You'll wonder if he's even got a man on him at times. Good work there by Ellis. Moved into the space. He takes the mark. Was well protected there by Bennett as well. And Ellis will go back and have the opportunity to kick himself a handful. He has 4 goals, 1 for the afternoon. From memory, he kicked 3 goals last week, so he's definitely putting his name up there for the NEAFL representative squad. We think he's the best small forward in the competition. He's just kicked his 5th to bookmark that as a given, and Ainslie go further in front. It's 17 goals, 4, 106 to the Queanbeyan Tigers. A very sorry-looking scoreline of 5 goals, 8, 38.
Of course, you mentioned the NEAFL representative side, Michael, to be named on Monday by Coach Cannon. It's in the final throws. It'll come out. The selectors are meeting tomorrow afternoon to thrash it out. So he's certainly put his name up in lights there in what will be an interesting selection meeting. Of course, with a lot riding on this year's encounter, the NEAFL to play the Tasmanian Football League representative side, who've announced their squad in front of the GWS Giants and Port at Skoda Stadium in Sydney on the Queen's birthday long weekend. But back to the footy, it's that man Gourlay with the impressive vertical leap, only as far as Klemke, who's put himself into the middle of the ground. But I think it's Walker out there who's done very well out towards the run of Kuzna. He's been impressive out there. The back 6 for Ainslie, for mine today, have been ultra impressive. Out towards the run of Easter, who towed it on, over towards that of Gourlay, who's running everywhere, over to Walker, the 21 and the 11, do battle over to Barry, the headgeared Barry. He wheels onto the left foot, out towards Bennett. Bennett dropped what he should have taken. A good spoil there from Kirkwood, but it's only as far as James Easto. Easto gets it onto the left boot, into the arms of Cade Klemke. The coach Klemke, he puts it out towards the run of Kirkwood. Kirkwood is now able to put it in towards the run of Jolliffe, but it was a poor kick again, and it landed the Ainslie forward there in Lachlan Crook. He gets an opportunity to evade the would-be tacklers, the witches' hats, as Michael's referred to them today. But here's a free kick coming to the tricolours. It'll be to Josh Bennett. I'm not sure what he picked it out for, Michael. Was a chop of the arms as he was going back with a fly to the footy. But Josh Bennett gets an opportunity to rack up his 4th. He's been probably shared the honours there with Kirkwood, would you suggest, Michael?
Oh, look, I think given the amount of football that's gone into the Ainslie forward 50, I think Kirkwood's done a fairly good job. But as a full forward, if you kick 4 or 5 in an afternoon, you walk away reasonably happy. He's going to have better days and probably kick less. But Bennett, he's kicked 30 goals so far this season to lead the goal kicking. He's just kicked his 4th to move to 31, and Ainslie moved further in front. It's 18 goals for 112. And the 3-quarter time siren can't come any quicker for the Queanbeyan Tigers. They're 5-8, 38.
Absolutely. The Tricolours have had some impressive quarters. 6 goals in the first quarter, 7 in the first, and they're already racked up 5 in the third quarter here, so it could be a real demolition at the hands of the Tigers on what is Muir Medal Day. Of course, happy Mother's Day to all the mums tomorrow. I'm sure we'll all be celebrating. There is a game of NEAFL tomorrow. That is Tuggeranong Hawks down playing the winless Sydney University, so the Hawks get an opportunity to win their third for the season. 11:45 at Greenway Oval, and it's down to Bennett again. He was just in front, caught Kirkwood ball watching. Not much you can do about it, Jeremy, but Josh Bennett, he gets an opportunity to bring up his 5th of the afternoon, and the Tricolours 19th. It's raining goals out here at Ainslie Oval, as the Tigers are on the wrong end of the scoreboard this time, Michael.
Well, as you alluded to earlier, they are kicking to the scoring end, so hopefully we have a lot of goals in the last term as well. But no, in fairness, Ainslie have been superb this afternoon. They're just starting to find their form. We mentioned it last week that they hadn't quite been where they wanted to be, as Bennett kicks his 5th of the afternoon, but they're definitely finding their feet now, and this has been a very impressive performance by the Ainslie Football Club. They are all over the Queanbeyan Tigers. Both sides not at full strength. There's little doubt after today which side has the better depth, and it is definitely the team in red, white and black. As there's another blood rule here for the Queanbeyan Tigers, it looks like Mitch Danaher is coming off to be replaced by Coach Klemke. As we go to that scoreboard again, it's the Queanbeyan Tigers, 5 goals, 8-38. They are stuck on 5 goals, 8. Ainsley just keep troubling that scoreboard. It's 18 goals for 118, and we are looking. You talked about Queanbeyan Tigers' biggest defeat. I think last year it might have been 50 points against Southport. So this is an absolute shellacking compared to what they endured last year as they try to move the ball forward. An Ainslie player was just dumped to the ground by Irwin without even having the football. That was Gourlay. Should have received a free kick. Umpire must have been blindsided. But Irwin goes for the ruck tap, gets it down to Jensen, has his head ripped off. Umpire finally sees one, and it goes the way of the Tigers, and Sammy Jensen will get the free kick. He's worked hard, he's tried. If some other players out there had his endeavour, the scoreboard would be a lot closer, as Jensen goes down towards Matt Little, takes the mark. He's got Wescombe in the pocket leading, but unfortunately he's got to straighten up now. Goes towards Kavanagh. No, he still wants Wescombe. Goes back. Not quite sure what they gained out of that other than a stat. Jensen now. The fat side's a bit more open towards Kavanagh. Good forward work by James Kavanagh. They worked that out pretty well in the end. The fat side was left open. James Kavanagh saw that, led into it. And a player of his quality knows exactly what to do when he sees a space like that. He led right into it. The pass was a good one. And he can go back and kick his 3rd of a much-starved afternoon, Brett.
Absolutely. Good lead-up work there by Little. He showed some glimpses today coming off a good goal there, but it's James Kavanagh. The goal umpire doesn't move. It's sailed right over the hat, so that's his 3rd for the afternoon, and the Tigers get their 6th, but they still trail a long way here in round 8 of North Eastern Football League action here at Ainslie Oval, and as the sun still shines here brightly for the Tricolours, it's a matter of how far now as they put the burners on, and they've really taken Queanbeyan to the cleaners in this term. 6 goals to 1. They've had a host of stars out there, Michael. None better than Sean Ellis with 5 and Josh Bennett with 5. I think the real stars have been their backline players and some of their kids. Johnny Goulet's been fantastic out there. James Eastoe with a couple. Jack Kuzner's been very impressive. So it's back to the middle of the ground. Irwin v Goulet. He's got a wonderful vertical leap. He wouldn't look out of place in maybe that representative side, John Goulet. I know he was on the watch list, but he's certainly been most impressive out there. Probably a little bit thing that lets him down is his kicking at the moment, Michael. If he can work on that, he looks like a real player to watch. As we get back to the footy, it's taken away by Atkinson, who's really struggled or starved at the footy today, struggled to make any impact. Out to the tattooed Slater with a quick handball out there, back and wearing the pink boots. He's a target out there. He's Paul Slater, who had a year off the footy. It's out to 37 in Toby Conroy. For those of you, he did get a blood rule, and it was number 4 Toby normally wears, but as the 3/4 time siren sounds here at Ainslie Oval, it's Ainslie 18-4, 118, leading the Queanbeyan Tigers 6-8-44. Welcome back to round 8 here, 1v5. It's the tricolours giving the Tigers a bath as we go for the last quarter. It's Campbell with a quick kick out of the ground. It's Ainslie 19-4, 118, leading the Tigers 7-8-54. We missed that last goal, of course, Michael, in the throes of the final of the three-quarter time. I wasn't quite sure what happened. We were all thought the siren had gone, but obviously the umpire saw something different and awarded a kick to Little. Little with the ball in hand now. He pushes it out towards Jolliffe. Jolliffe's been quite solid, as has Conroy for the Tigers. Of course, they're playing for the Muir medal today. Michael, any quick tips here for the possible recipient of the Muir medal?
Well, I can tell you one thing for sure. Probably won't go to a Queanbeyan Tiger player, but if you could probably throw a blanket across half a dozen Ainslie players. Looking down the list, Horner's been outstanding at centre half forward. Other players, Ellis, he's just continued on his form that we saw last week with his 5 goals. Bennett's kicked 5 too, but I think Kirk was done a pretty good job on him, given the amount of football that's gone into the forward 50. Obviously, Crook was outstanding in that first half, but I'm going to say in this early stage of the last term that my vote would go to Horner, who set the tone in that forward line for the tricolours. As the kick's on its way for the Queanbeyan Tigers by Klemke goes through, and a belated goal to the Queanbeyan Tigers. That is their 8th. It's 8 goals, 8-56. Long way behind the tricolours. It's 19-4, 124.
Well, there you have it. Simon Horner is the tip from Michael Neeson. I'm going to go totally out of left field. I've really liked the game of Lachlan Highfield. I thought he's been very constructive in the back half for the tricolours. He's done a great job in keeping James Kavanagh with 3 goals. But Sean Ellis has been very destructive for the tricolours as well. But yeah, you could throw a blanket over to Horner's been very good and creative up there in the forward 50, and he's taken a numerous amount of marks. And of course, Marcus Crook was fantastic early and set the game up when it really needed, or when it really mattered. But it's Lachlan Highfield for mine, Simon Horner for yous. Only the judges will tell, as time will tell, to see who the Muir recipient will be for 2013. But it's out to Danaher. He gets a quick kick out of the middle of the ground. It's put down towards Ben Klemke. He was held on to. No, he's played it the other way. He was the man in front. Played it to the former GWS product in Birch. Birch gets it out to Tui. Tui over to there to Lucas O'Neill. O'Neill goes as far as Clint Matheson. He was met solidly by Jared Atkinson. In
no eyes on the football there.
It was an interesting clash there. We might see more of, but the umpires just played a free kick, and Sean Campbell is wrapped up solidly by James Manny. Is it? No, number 37. That's an old one, James Manny.
He was number 37, but as we
the boy from Marimbula.
Yeah,
it's Toby Conroy who's wearing 37. Apologies, Toby. As the game stepped up a notch in heat, it's out to James Easter. He gets it on the left boot, but only as far as out of bounds on the full. It'll be a free kick out there to Mitch Danaher, the diminutive number 15. Of course, Mitch Danaher, former Mulrooney medalist. One of number out there today.
He's a dual Mulrooney medalist, actually. He's not too many people can walk away saying they've won 2, as he's got the football now, but a little case of too little too late, that heat there for the Queanbeyan Tigers. Should have been doing that about an hour and a half ago. Talking about the Muir medal, I wonder if you could do the old school of all played well. Back in the old days as a junior, when you saw that, you got a bit disappointed, but you knew you were amongst it, because you could really just throw it up and just see where it lands. Oh, not looking where he was going was a young fella in shade, just had no peripheral vision, and he's hurt. Look, that was a great tackle. The crowd might be going a little bit silly here, but there's nothing untoward about that. That was just a young player, didn't have the peripheral vision, and he was absolutely poleaxed by the Ainslie player. Fair for mine.
Absolutely. That was a solid hit there from Lucas O'Neill. He just blindsided him, as you said, Michael. No peripheral vision there. Has really stepped up the heat in the contest out there. A lot of feeling between these two sides. Obviously a lot of rivalry for those of you who've followed the footy for a long time, Michael, and you've been on the end of some of those and been in some of the, of course, some very successful eras for both clubs. But young Shea, as he gets carted or escorted off the ground by the Queanbeyan trainers, but he'll learn something from that, Michael. But there was a good hit there from from Neil, and he gets a free kick and he puts it down to the run of Horner. It's beaten them all and it's out of bounds on the full. But yeah, referring back to that one where you all played well and it was best players team effort, that was rather deflating when you know that you had a decent game yourself. Anyway, it's over to Conroy in the number 37. Apologies to you earlier, out to Jensen. He's tried hard all day. To the Jill Mulrooney medalist in Danaher with the left foot. He chips it into the middle of the ground. I think it's Camp, is it, in the middle of the ground with a poor handball towards King, and King and Barry go at it on the middle of the ground. Of course, it's a free kick now to Benny King. Benny King only as far as Stevie Jolliffe. Jolliffe right into the interchange gates here. He gets an opportunity to put the Tigers into attack. He looks for that of the lead of Kavanagh, but it was a good lead out there and it was taken now by, I think it's 46. It is Ben Fulford, the diminutive forward pocket for the... but it's out to Kavanagh, and the umpire's whistles are going crazy. He didn't know he had time there, James Kavanagh. He probably would have went back and had a ping at it, but he thought it was play on. And he played on that he did only as far as the behind. So the Tigers bring up yet another minor score. It's not going to be enough to bridge the gap here at Ainslie Oval as the Tricolours do it in a canter. 19-4, 124 to 8, 9:57.
Ball's in the half-back line for Ainslie. Barry has that. Chips out to a loose Ainslie player. That might be Kuzner. Kuzner goes down the line of the half-forward line. Hurst gets the handball out to Ellis. They've got a couple of Queanbeyan Tiger players to deal with out there. They can't do so. Tigers should get out of trouble here. By hand, it's in the hands of Camp. Camp now with the right boot. Not a good-looking kick. And it goes straight into the hands of Kuzner, who will get the ball into the middle of the ground. That is Lachlan Crook. The right footer goes towards the big fella there in Morris. Takes some marks. Been pretty good in the ruck. Although in saying that, I really have enjoyed watching Gourlay. He is super impressive in that ruck position. Great mark taken there by the dominant Horner. My pick for BAG. Just needs another goal or two to ice the cake. Good mark taken there by the Queanbeyan Tiger ruckman in Curlin. Hands it off now. Danaher across to Conroy. Just keeps racking them up, does Toby Conroy. Just hasn't been as effective today. Most of his possessions on the back end of the centre square. Good pass there to Matt Little. Good lead. Little now. Grandstand win for the Queanbeyan Tigers. Praying for someone to run at him to make the decision for him. And there he is again, Toby Conroy. Gets another stat. Goes short to Fulford. Haven't called his name very much at all today. Mind you, he's not Robinson Caruso in a black and gold jumper. Kick down the ground to be paid. And Ainslie will get the free kick through Easto. No, it's going back. Thought it might have been a foul after disposal. But it's going to go back to the Ainslie player. It's going to be the wrong player. It's got to go in the hands of Kuzner. No, the umpire's pointing to Kuzner, then he gives it to Easto. So Easto was down the ground. I was right the first time. So Easto, grandstand side wing, goes long and strong to Horn. He's got 3 to contend with there. Good enough on his form so far today. Ball comes to ground, picked up there by Mathis. Gets a kick towards Crook. He started the rot for the Queanbeyan Tigers, did Crook cross that half-back line, goes in the forward line, charging out to meet the football is the Queanbeyan Tiger youngster in Haley.
Of course, his first game for the Tigers, Mitch Haley, as it's taken away over there on the far side, and it's in the hands of, I think it's in the hands of Haley, who went to Swan, over to the 33 in Michael Westcombe. Haven't called his name a lot today. Into the middle of the ground, into Frenchie. Frenchie drives the ball with a poor kick, only as far as that man in Lachlan Highfield. Highfield gets it across on the left boot. He's had a pretty solid game also. Apologies to Johnny Gourlay. He's been quite good out there, very serviceable. Here's the man who kicked the first goal of the game in Hurst. He gets it only as far as the boundary line. Another boundary line throw in centre wing, far side Ainslie Oval, doing it in a canter. Of course, I'm just reading some news that's come through. Tuggeranong have just signed a new recruit, wishing him all the best from Grovedale down from the Geelong area, if you're not familiar with that. Matthew Broad play his first game for the Tuggeranong Hawks. Tomorrow, of course, they take on the winless Sydney Uni, what will complete round 8 of the North Eastern Football League round. So they get an opportunity to win their third. Look like they've been on the scour for some players before that June 30 deadline, Michael.
Yeah, and well done to them too. A lot of people would have thought that maybe this might be the breaking year for them. Haven't had a successful era And I know there was some talk that some were thinking they wouldn't last the season out. So well done to them. And if they do win their third game, well, they're right amongst it for finals. Heaslip gets a handball to a stationary Matt Little. Didn't really need to see that handball coming, I don't think. Kick high in the air, but it's all Ainslie down there, which it has been most of the afternoon. They haven't had too much to do down there, but what they've done it with style. Ball's now in their hands. I can't quite see who that is because my view is blocked. But Ainslie now. Good pass to Lachlan Crook. Still in the defensive zone for Ainslie. They work it clear now. Ball's in the hands of Barry. He's got better as the game's got longer, has Barry. Mind you, most of his teammates have shared the ball around pretty well. This is in the hand of Costigan. Costigan back to Lachlan Crook. Just steadying the flow here, controlling the tempo of Ainslie. Been a very professional performance by them. Not a good kick over the head of Swan, and that man gets it again in Horner. Looked like he was the third in line, ended up getting it. Gourlay goes across to the runner in Barry, takes a bounce, goes towards the forward in Bennett, doesn't quite take the mark. The umpire's paid it. Oh dear, you're in perfect position. You've had a howler there. I know it's not umpire appreciation week this week, and that was a very, very poor decision. I'm sure he knows it though, but he can't change his mind once he's made it.
Absolutely, he was quick to pull the trigger there, was the umpire, but nonetheless, he was still in front. Bennett dropped what he should have probably taken, but he was lucky enough to get away with it. He gets an opportunity to line up for his 6th, and he gets an opportunity to line up for the Tricolours' 21st, so they're racking them up in big numbers today here at Ainslie Oval in what is, we've repeated a number of times, Medal Day. Here's this bloke in contention. He's lining up for his 6th. He's had a good day at the office. He makes no mistake. It's not going to swing late. Yes, it will. It didn't make the distance. It looked pretty good off the boot here up in the commentary, but it just swung at the last moment, so he misses. And he puts Ainslie further ahead, though, as it's Queanbeyan really struggling to make an impact today as they get a quick kick in. And it's the second kick that's really let them out today. And they've really missed the presence of Ryan Quaid, who's really that hit up forward for the Queanbeyan Tigers. But not to worry, they live to fight another day. It's only round 8, and there's plenty of football left in season 2013. Can the Tigers bounce back and go back-to-back in 2013? But from what I've seen today, Michael, a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, a lot of work to be done. They've got some soul searching to do during the week before they front up against the might of the Sydney Swans. So it doesn't get any easier for the Queanbeyan Tigers. Always knew that this year would be difficult for them. It's a bit different being the hunted as opposed to the hunter. And they've got all teams after them after their unbelievable season last year. Queanbeyan Tigers now, Toby Conroy deserves a goal. He's probably been one of the, if not the best Queanbeyan Tiger player, and he gets a much-deserved goal, does Conroy. That's his first of the afternoon, and the Queanbeyan Tigers move to 9-9-63. A long way in arrears of Ainslie. They are 20 goals, 5-1-2-5.
Absolutely well-deserved goal there to Toby Conroy. We've spoken about him a number of times. He just racks up getting possessions. He'd have to be the leading player in the North Eastern Football League Conference in terms of possessions. We'll check that out through champion data during the week. We'll confirm that, Michael, but he's certainly coming off some 37s, some 40s and some 42 touch games. So the ever-reliable Toby Conroy, of course, he played in the Tricolours here, went away to Frankston or Sandringham with Jamie Shanahan and played a couple of seasons in the VFL, but it's back into the middle of the ground as Klemke was manhandled there. He was unlucky not to get a free kick, only as far as Sam Jensen, who's been quite serviceable for the Tigers today. He's certainly put his body on the line. He hasn't stopped trying. He gets top marks for endeavour, but it's only as far as Tui. He gets manhandled around the neck. He should have got a free kick there as the umpire lets the play go on there. And a couple of interesting decisions by the umpires today, Michael, particularly in the pack situations. They've probably hesitated a little bit when they've let the play go on a little bit instead of just clearing the area.
Yeah, also too, a couple of times when you thought they might pay hold on the ball, they've let it go, and then you're thinking they're going to let it go and they pay hold on the ball, but Atkinson has the ball now, goes long into the Tiger forward line, but it's all Ainslie back there. It's 2v1. Fulford's got some work to do. Tui just goes straight over the top to Walker. Walker can run. Gets on that right boot, goes short. It's not a good kick, but it's going to work out, is it? Because Crook's there, so too is his teammate in Mathis. Goes with the handball backwards. Good work there by Campbell. Goes in short, but the mark has been taken by Coach Klemke, and he's got some work to do during the week to pick his troops up. Goes out wide. Oh, don't know how he got that. That might be a free kick for too high, is it? Or has he paid the mark? Another interesting call there by the umpire. You know, he's paid the mark. Geez, I thought you had to hold them in today's day. It's a beautiful day. It's not wet. There's no reason why you shouldn't be holding those.
It wasn't even an evener upper there either, Michael. It went the way of the tricolours. When you're hot, but when you're not, they say you're down, but it's very hard.
You did make your own luck there, Brett, and they've led all facets this afternoon, that's for sure.
Absolutely. It's down to that man Horner. I think he's certainly well into calculations, if not stormed to favouritism for the Muir medal. He puts it inside the run of Bennett, easy as you like. Just popped it into his bread basket, Michael. You would have enjoyed running onto that in your day. It was a beautiful kick from Simon Horner, and he led straight at him, and poor old Jeremy Kirkwood couldn't do much about that. Is Josh Bennett going to get his 6th for the afternoon and the Tricolours 21st? Time will tell here at the 15-minute mark at Ainslie Oval. As we ride at home with Bennett with an ugly looking kick off the boot, but I think it's going to be successful. You betcha. There's his 6th and the Tricolours 21st as they skip further away here at Ainslie Oval and inflict further damage on the Tigers.
Yeah, but disappointing for young Kirkwood. I reckon he's been really serviceable for the Queanbeyan Tigers. The amount of football that has gone in to the Ainslie forward line. But as a full forward, you walk away kicking 6 goals. You have definitely done your job. He's probably going to play better and kick less before the season's out. But Bennett's kicked 6 and his 33rd of the season to lead the NEAFL goal kicking. It's been a superb display by the Ainslie Tricolours. It's Ainslie 21 goals, 5. Great goal kicking, 1-3-1 to the Queanbeyan Tigers, 9-9-63. Ball is back in the middle. Irwin against Gourlay. Comes down, pack forms. Irwin just throws his opponent to the ground. Good work there by all players. And looks like Ainslie might get a free kick for too high. And they do. It is that man Gourlay was sung his praises quite regularly in the second half. Picked off by Mathis. Goes towards the leading full forward in Bennett again. How will it bounce? Comes to ground. There's the ever dangerous Ellis on the left boot. How will that bounce? Bouncing away to the left-hand side of the goal and goes out of bounds about 10 metres around from the Ainslie goal. But the ball, Brett, has been camped in their forward line for a fair portion of this football match.
Absolutely, and you can see they've reaped benefits, but an interesting note, James Kavanagh's just come off the ground. I know he's been carrying a calf, so that spells bad news on the eve of the representative squad announcement. He's come to ice off, so that's not a good sign for the Coach Cannon in the NEAFL representative squad, but time will tell. Fingers crossed that the spearhead can play heading up that side against... It's that man Ellis with his hands on the footy again. He gets an opportunity as they go toe-to-toe, him and Bennett. He gets an opportunity for his 6th. Sean Ellis, that's his best game in the Tricolours colours. Sean Ellis brings up the 22nd for the Ainslie side here at Ainslie Oval. Round 8 as they do a demolition job on your old mob, Michael, here at round 8. And they've really stormed into finals calculations now. You've made a bold prediction that the ladder may not change. Well, time will tell, and I think you could be right this early part of the season as the Tricolours skip away. Sean Ellis with 6 goals, Josh Bennett with 6 in a fantastic effort. Horner's been absolutely superb up inside the forward 50. It's going to be a raffle for that Muir medal.
I'll tell you the one player that's been a bit quiet today is Hines. Started well early. He was really good last week. But how's this Ainslie forward line going to look when Payne gets fit as well? So they've got a lot of firepower down there, and they've obviously got the ammunition to get the ball in there, as the umpires had a bit of a Barry Crocker in that bounce. Just wonder.
What I do like about the Ainslie forward line is they've got a different balance. You've got Bennett who can lead. He's very good below his knees. You've got the pace of Ellis there. You've got Horner who works very hard inside the forward 50. He creates space behind him as well. And then you've got Payne who's just dead-eye dick from outside 50 and very, very strong overhead, and he's got a great goal set. So they've got some nice options there, the Tricolours, in going forward. So they're going to be put on notice for all the other sides because they're very difficult to match up on. And particularly with the likes of young Gourlay, Kuzna, and these guys that are coming on through the system, there's going to be some fierce competition for spots here at Tricolour Land.
Yeah, it's looking very ominous for the rest of the competition. It is for the Ainslie Football Club. They're definitely hitting a fine patch of form. Probably started in that last term last week against Eastlake as Ben Klemke looks to add to his tally. He can't do so. He misses to the right-hand side, and the Queanbeyan Tigers get the minus score. But it's too little too late for the Queanbeyan Tigers. They are going to go home and lick their wounds. It's just a matter of by how much here at Ainslie Oval. Horner gets in front, picked off by Swan. Swan, he's had one of those dirty afternoons as the Queanbeyan Tigers get the ball into the hands of Curlin. Wheels around on the right boot. Sees a play at the half-4 line in Westcombe. Been very quite. Too slow to get rid of the football. Didn't know what was around him. Ball goes into the forward line for the Ainslie Tricolours, but it's cut off there by the Queanbeyan Tiger first gamer in Haley. Not a good kick out of defence by the Queanbeyan Tigers from Kirkwood. Picked off there by Barry. Goes down long and strong, and a good mark taken by Hine. We commented on, well, I did, on how quiet he has been in comparison to last week and the rest of his team. And he's going to come up trumps here and have a shot for his second goal of the afternoon. And the Tricolours 23rd. It's a very big scoreline here. They lead the last term 3-1 to 2-2. And Hine, that trusty left boot, that's a beautiful looking kick off the boot. Doesn't waver too much from over the top of the goal umpire's hat. That's his second, and Ainslie move further in front. It is 23 goals, 5, 143 to the Queanbeyan Tigers, 9-10-64.
And just a quick score out of Sydney. It's the Sydney Hills Eagles and the Eastlake Demons. It's 10 minutes to go. The margin is 14 points. So the Eagles have made up some ground there on the Demons. Are they good enough to get home and really put the cat amongst the pigeons, or the eagle amongst the demons, so to speak, Michael? But that man Hine, he's very good. So we've just had another one, Eastlake kick 2. It's 25 the margin now, so the Hills Eagles aren't going to be good enough down there at Bruce Purser in Sydney. The Demons will keep their season alive as they knock on the door of the top 5, as the Tricolours well and truly get their season back on track after it was a little bit of a patchy start. Of course, missing 7 or 8 top liners out of their 22. That's the most impressive thing out of today, Michael. Of course, both sides riddled with injuries at the moment, and it's only early in the season.
Yeah, Ainslie depth is obviously a lot better than the Queanbeyan Tigers at the moment. How are you going to fit some of those 7 or 8 in, and then how good are the Ainslie reserves going to be? So it could be a fantastic season 2013 for the Ainslie Tricolours in the NEAFL. Kick comes across to Highfield. He's been very impressive today. Spots it across the ground, spots the running defender. Lachlan Cook could be next in line here. No, it goes a bit longer to Walker. Hands it off now. Ainslie running through the middle of the ground here at Ainslie. Goes towards their half-4 line. Should be cut off by Curlin, and is. He takes a mark. Gets the ball across to the running player in Westcombe. Westcombe now looks towards the grandstand wing. Good mark taken there by Jensen. He's tried very hard here for the Queanbeyan Tigers. Looked to go towards Heaslip. Saw that wasn't the right option. Goes short to a one-on-one contest. I just think if you're going to go to a one-on-one contest, make it 60 metres down the ground. Good punch away by Swan. Finally starting to get some body on Horner. Maybe Horner's a bit too tired. He's had a big afternoon. Gets it across to Shea. Good to see him back on the ground after that hit in the third term. Umpire's seen a free kick for holding on. It's going to go to Conroy. Or is it Klemke? No, it's Klemke, the coach. And looked a bit soft from here. Wouldn't mind that being paid 10-15 years ago, Brett. It looked very soft.
Well, it's probably reward for effort, Michael. So you're not having much luck today. Of course, the Tigers going down, and you got the defeat in Adelaide with the Tigers mauling Port Adelaide over there by 50-odd points. So not something you wanted to hear. No. I'm sure you'll be able to pay that back, Michael. But as Klemke gets one back for the Tigers, he kicks their 10th for the afternoon as the sun goes and hides for the afternoon. Hopefully it'll come out for Mother's Day tomorrow, Michael, in what is one game to go in round 8 of the NEAFL. Of course, the Tuggeranong Hawks taking on the Sydney University at 11:45 Greenway Oval. Can the uni guys break their duck for season 2013, or are the Hawks going to skip away with their third for the season? We spoke about the Hawks previously in the commentary. They did lose 11 senior players, Michael, over the season. So to Pete McGrath and the team down at Tuggeranong, they've done a wonderful job, and Pete McGrath has really shown his leadership and coaching ability. So well done to Peter McGrath and all those involved at the Hawks out there. Hope they continue it up. But back here at Ainslie Oval, it's Walker out to the run of Hurst, the first goal scorer of the afternoon. He was fantastic in the opening stanza, was Hurst. He's faded out of it a little bit, but he gets another one up towards Gula, who uses that vertical leap, but he was just running to the footy. His arms weren't that big, but it's that man Bennett who's just fantastic below his knees as he keeps taking them on. Is he going to kick his 7th? Yes, he is. I think he is. No, it was touched on the line. The goal umpire says, I'll have it. As Josh Bennett did what he liked, as you said, dancing around the witches' hats as the ball's back in towards Conroy. Conroy over towards that of Jolliffe, and a little bit of junk time going on now as they share the footy around out towards that of Curlin. Hasn't done much this afternoon, big Curlin. It's taken away by it's King out there, I think it was, but only as far as Marcus Crook, the man who started the rot for the Tricolours, over towards that of Toohey. Ball in the hands of Toohey. He takes it away over to his fellow defender in Campbell. That back six have worked wonderfully well for the Tricolours today. Over there to Clint Mathis, the speedy Clint Mathis, of course. Clint Mathis played for the Western Creek, or the defunct Western Creek Wildcats, Michael. As it's they share the footy around, it's over towards Costigan. He tries to share the ball around in a poor kick, only as far as putting it out of bounds on the full. Resulted free kick to the Tigers. It'll be taken by, is it, I can't see, the view's obscured. Is it young Ben Fulford down there? No, it's not. It is Mitch Danaher. As we find it quite difficult to see out of the commentary box. He's got a difficult kick here. The dual Mulrooney medalist tries the banana kick, and he's good enough to do it, I think. Absolutely he is. The goal umpire says, yes, sir. 3 bags full. She puts the 2 fingers out, and that's a goal to the Tigers. Their 11th for the afternoon, but not good enough today. He's kept off quite a good day. He's tried very, very hard, as Mitch Danaher, Michael.
Yeah, he has. He does that week in, week out, does Mitch Danaher. Thought he was lost to the game a couple of years ago and came back through the twos last year and ended up playing in a premiership side, so he'd be happy he came back. Wouldn't be too happy this afternoon. Queanbeyan Tigers have fought reasonably well in this last term. As expected, the three-quarter time message would have been all about pride in winning this last term. They have done so far. They've kicked 4 goals, 2. Ainslie have kicked 3 goals, 1. Not far from the end here at Ainslie Oval as Danaher gets the ball again, goes towards the half-forward line, goes to the short option in Jensen. Good body work by the youngster. He can run into the forward 50, but the kick's not a good one, and it goes out of bounds to the right-hand side of the point post, and your man Highfield will take the resulting free kick for the Ainslie Tricolours. He's definitely up there in the top couple on the ground. He's played very well. Been ably assisted by his other 5 defenders, that's for sure, and probably even more so by the poor use of the football by the Queanbeyan Tigers. Kavanagh, I reckon, he's probably just down there as a precautionary measure for the Queanbeyan Tigers. They're not going to win the game, so there's no point in keeping him on the field. Those ageing legs of his, as you mentioned, Brett, he's got a little bit of a niggle going on as well. That should be a free kick against Crook, not seen by the umpire. Not for the first time we got to add. Irwin was had bodies all over him there. Good work there by Bennett. You're right, he's fantastic with the foot, with the boot, the football at his boot laces. Goes across now. Ainslie, Hurst, kicked the first goal of the game. Will he kick the last? It goes long and strong. How will it bounce? It bounces straight in the air. And, well, the umpire's whistle has gone. It's going to be a free kick to the Queanbeyan Tigers. Horner tried to kick the ball in mid-air. I'm assuming it was played for a kicking in danger. Comes out to Danaher. Danaher gets it by hand across to Jolliffe. As the final siren goes, a resounding victory here at Ainslie Oval to the home side. It is Ainslie 22 goals 5, 137 to the Queanbeyan Tigers, who did win the last quarter to take something home with them, 11 goals 10, 76.